Good evening. Welcome to Fantastic Dimensions. This is session 37, I think, of Rogues to Riches. So we will jump right into it. It's late September um, in the hamlet of Nonsbeck. Do I still have that image ready here by chance? Yes, I do. Look at that. In the hamlet of Nonsbeck, your home is being built somewhere around kind of the western edge of the map there, um, on the opposite side of the road from where the inn would be. So um, it's early stages of construction though, so I mean it's really they're still probably digging out, for the purposes of the basement you wish to have constructed, etc. So it's probably a wet hole in the ground at the moment. You guys are still, most of you are still staying at the inn, of course. Sullivan Jack, you have been allowed to sleep at the church.
Yep.
Okay,
Free bed.
indeed. Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, Medina is using an alias at the moment. What is your alias? I hope you have it written down.
It is Geo de Silva.
Is that right? Okay, cool.
Yeah, that is right.
Sounds good. Alrighty. So, yeah. You guys had some things you wanted to do. I think probably we should do Medina's bit first because that was something that sounded like it was um, pressing, like a matter that wanted to be taken care of as soon as possible. Am I mistaken? Or
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to get a
I'm
few
sorry,
things off my chest.
Mr. De Silva.
Yeah, just wanted to get a few things off my chest to Antonia.
Right, in private, you said, right?
Yeah, in private.
Okay, so where do you want to have this private conversation?
Uh, Antonia, where should we have this
In
private?
the cemetery, the graveyard,
Let's
over a
see.
freshly dug plot? No.
Yeah, I'd say we go over towards where the work is. Is it? What's the weather like today?
Oh, good question. I will tell you. See, we're in late September, so that's kind of the early fall for England. Weather today. Um, Actually, this evening, because you guys had spent most of your afternoon or whatever in the pub. It's decent. It's kind of overcast, but it's not raining. So,
Okay.
being that the sky is overcast, it's probably fairly warm.
Okay.
Um,
But it's later in the day then, so probably not as. And probably stopped work for the day.
yeah, probably so, because it's
Okay.
probably. Oh no, it wouldn't necessarily be dark yet. Maybe not. They might still be working because, as I said, it's not raining too. Yeah, they probably work right up until dark.
Okay. So,
So,
anyways, let's go over next to that tree stand, north of where the plot is for the
Okay,
house.
okay, okay.
all
Well,
right.
as we get there, I will start saying too.
All right.
So I would like to apologize
Hmm?
first off for acting so immaturely about your gifts.
Oh, there's no need to apologize for that. They are
Well,
scary.
well, I feel like I can be honest with you, Antonio. You have your gifts, but you keep secret. I have my own secrets, so I am. I guess I am a religious man, but I'm not exactly as religious as I try to make people believe. I have my own way of seeing things. I always hide under different, not aliases all the time. This is the first time I've used a different name,
Hmm,
but I don't tell the truth very often because I don't know who to trust these days.
quite
So,
understandable.
my disgust of your mm, gifts wasn't truthful. I just acted that way as part of my disguise within your party.
I
So I
see.
didn't know if I could trust any of you. I didn't know if you were working for Shakir or his men back then.
Ah, indeed. I understand now.
Yes.
I would have thought our involvement with Mr. Van Oop, or Van Ooms, whatever his name is. Van Ooms, Mr. Van Ooms,
Um,
Master Van Ooms, would have tipped something off on that side. But even still,
well,
it's
he's
always better to be cautious than dead.
He's a peculiar man. I didn't really know whether to trust him, but you never know.
Well, I
Turns out he
certainly don't
was.
trust him. But I don't trust him not because I feel he would stab me in the back. It's kind of like the distrust you have giving a child a candle and opening a door to a barn full of gunpowder.
Yes, yes. He's a very peculiar fellow. But I can trust you with a few things. Shakir and his group uh, weren't the nicest of people. We had killed quite a few people, taken their money, taken their belongings, done a lot of that stuff. Things that a real religious person wouldn't be proud of, to a certain extent. Men, women, and children were hurt in these circumstances.
I don't know.
But,
I've met more than a few clergy that could fit those descriptions.
yes. And Shakir always had a desire for the strange. He kind of, and a few of his friends in higher places, like your kind of, the stuff you do. They like that kind of mysterious abilities. And it got a bit too much for me. They tried doing worse things, and the killing of children got far too much for me. That's one thing I didn't agree with. But so I escaped. I killed a few of them to get out, and I ran. I couldn't deal with it anymore. I did grab his book, his ancient book, and I hid it somewhere. But
I see. So it's this book that is the sticking point for him.
yes, but he won't find it. He will not find it anywhere. It's long gone. Well, I hope. I hope it's long gone.
What was the nature of this?
I wasn't able to decipher it fully, but it definitely had some strange aspects to it, but only someone of maybe your nature would understand it. But it's long gone, and hopefully it will never get into their hands.
Yeah, I understand. Well, it's a shame. It sounds like something I definitely would be interested in looking at, but I'll not pursue the matter if it's something you want to remain in the past.
Well, the past has a way of catching up with you. I didn't think Shakir would find me, but here we are. He ran into you guys, so it makes me a bit more on edge, especially that father, whatever his name is, priest. I forgot his name, but
The German guy?
Yeah, the German guy.
I forget his name too. Yeah, that one. There's something strange with him, that's for sure.
You talking about the priest, or are you talking about his clerical assistant?
Yeah, the
The clerical assistant, that guy.
That's Deacon Gurnet.
Okay, Deacon
Gurnet,
I
that
forgot.
guy.
You know, I had all week to check. I don't know if I'm even pronouncing that name right or not, but
It might be
I'm assuming.
Gurney, or I don't
No,
know.
it's German. It's Girnot.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to
Yeah,
sound
then
that
it is.
pretty.
Then it is probably Gurney. But yes, that's as much as I kind of want to share with you. But that's a little brief into what I've been up to in my older years. That I'm not even that old. I'm only like 26. But
Hey, that's a pretty ripe old age, and
yeah, back then it was. Yeah.
17th century is probably well, 17th century is not as bad as like say medieval times, but you know, shit. I mean, if you're a woman, you'd have been expected to be married off with kids by now.
Technically, I am married, so I am married with a younger woman, so which I'm about to say. I hope Shakir didn't get to my or his men didn't get to my wife and child in Spain.
When was the last time you saw them?
You're looking at about 2 years ago.
Oh, they're all dead.
Yeah, they're probably all dead, but he doesn't know. But yes, thank you for listening at least.
Of course.
It's good to finally talk to someone, but I just get a weird feeling about being over here in this place.
Well, we plan on staying here for quite a while, and you're welcome to stay, of course.
Well, I
As
will
you see,
stay.
Point at the hole in the ground. We are in the process of building a home. It's not much to look at, unfortunately, at the moment, but someday.
It's probably better than sleeping outside like I have been doing for many days.
Oh, yes.
But I'm used to it. But I will be willing to stay and help you however I can until until any unsavory characters come along.
Well, if they do, perhaps they can be dealt with.
Perhaps indeed.
It's always better to have someone watching your back.
Yes, it is. I will shake your hand, and then I will walk, and then I'll walk away.
All right, he'll do that, and I'll expect you to lead us back and mutter, ancient texts.
Indeed, that sounds like something you'd be interested in.
Very much so.
So, no problems there. Regarding Sullivan Jack. Now, you said you wanted to investigate the shed, which I'll pull the map back up again here in a second.
Before I do that, Father Christopher, does he seem like a real cleric? Have I seen him casting any spells or anything like that?
Well, let's see here, Father Christoph.
Or is he just a priest without the power?
Father Christopher. You haven't seen him cast any miracles or anything. No, you haven't seen any of that happen. He is a sandy-haired fellow with an earnest but handsome demeanor, marred by a single hairy wart on his left cheek. Takes his duties as a priest very seriously. Very quick to blame any ordinary inconveniences and misunderstandings on machinations of hell. Satan has his hand in everything. He's well versed in theology, speaks several languages. Definitely better trained than most country priests. And he carries a dagger around, concealed in his person at all times, but everybody knows it's there. It's pretty obvious. So
All right. Well,
yeah, that's all we really have on him. So yeah.
Well, while I'm
You've never seen him
here,
cast anything.
while I'm staying for free, like I figure I'm doing some stuff around the church, cleaning up, helping him with,
Sure.
talking with him about Saint Margaret and whatnot, just to kind of get buddies with him.
With Father
And
Christopher, sure, absolutely. Yeah, he sleeps. He sleeps in a small chamber, which is accessible from a door next to the lectern.
Where do I sleep?
That is a good question. Probably just in the what's it called? In the nave?
The main area?
Yeah.
Like
Perhaps, yeah. Or
in the back. All right. Well, while I'm under the pretense of I'm cleaning up around here, I'm going to go out into the graveyard and just walk into his shed, claiming I'm looking for a rake or something.
okay. Is this the same day that we were in before?
Oh, it can be a day or two later or whatever.
Ah, right. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. Yeah, you walk in and He's in there. Yeah, you see it's just a small shed. You can see a little cot up against the one wall that he's sitting on currently, and there is a a bale of straw against the opposite wall from the cot. And let's see, a rake.
Are there actual tools in here?
Yeah, he has a rake. Oh, yes. Yes,
Right.
a rake.
Look out here.
Hmm?
If Father Christopher's so fond of you, why does he have you sleeping in a shed?
Oh, it's my choice. I like to have a little privacy rather than sleeping in the nave like you.
Yeah, I I could see where that would be good. I don't like really sleeping in there, but it's free,
There is an inn.
which is not free. So I'm just going to kind of nose around while I'm in here.
Perhaps it's time for you to get a job then.
I'm working here for free, offering my services to the Lord.
Of course.
So what exactly you do around here, Brother Gernot?
I am Father Christopher's assistant. I assist him with any of his clerical duties. Perhaps one day then I will be a priest myself.
Okay. So yeah, we're still thinking about that job you talked about.
Hmm.
I think we're going to do it, but I don't know when exactly.
One thing's for sure, you'd never have to sleep on the floor of a church again.
Well, if everything went according to plan by the will of God. But okay, Gernot, I just needed this rake here. I guess I won't trouble you anymore. I'm going to go clean up the graves a
Sure.
little bit.
Oh, if you need the shovel, it's here too.
Okay, thank you. And then I guess I'll just mosey around the graveyard and like kind of check out the tombs, anything interesting or just, contemplative peace. I guess this is up on a hill. I can see
Yes, it
the
is.
surrounding
I'll
area.
pop that map back up again. Yep, it is indeed on top of this hill. It's like a 30-foot tall hill, so you can see the roof of the inn. Actually, there's a back door of the inn that backs right up against the side of the hill. Um, that back door is on the second floor where the rooms are, or the first floor, I guess, since we're in Europe. It'd be the second floor in America.
All right.
Of course, actually, from you can't really necessarily see that well from the graveyard because the church is in the way. But yeah, if you walk around the back of the church, you'll be able to see it.
So I guess I didn't see anything. He wasn't in there doing anything suspicious, just
He
basically
looked to be reading.
literally the shed. Okay. Well, another thing I want to do is down there at the work site or just any of the local townspeople, if anybody gets seriously injured, I would like to help them and make a big show out of it. Like somebody's arm gets cut, I can be like on them and make a big deal of it.
Make a
I
big
want
deal of like what?
to
Casting magic?
perform a miracle.
Okay.
Yeah,
You do understand the potential dangers of that.
right. But this is a gift from God, and
Right.
I want
Yeah.
I want everybody to believe that. I might even before I do something like that, I might like talk more with Father Christopher, and you know, I don't want to reveal anything to him, but uh, you believe in miracles, right, Father Christopher,
Well, of course.
and that God can do great things through His servants, right?
Yes, absolutely. And through his son, Jesus Christ.
Absolutely. All right. So yeah, next time somebody's hurt, badly enough that it would be impressive.
Okay. No problem. I would say it probably happen over the next few days, maybe when somebody's after the digging is done and they're kind of filling in the basement. Maybe somebody Oh yeah, is your basement going to have a dirt floor, but it'd have stone walls? Would that be accurate?
Oh, I always thought it was going to have a stone floor as well.
Yeah, you could
But
do that too. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, during the the flooring of the basement, one of the workers actually gets a foot crushed by a stone, broken ankle, smashed all the bones in his foot all fucked up.
All right, when I hear about that, I'll rush down there to the site and I'll lay hands on him and start praying. Dear God, heal this man of his affliction. May he walk again in the name of Christ and all that's holy. Then I cast the cure light wounds.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Um that like he's like just overwhelmed with
Praise God.
joy and the fact that the pain is gone. Um, uh, Several of the others probably get kind of a little bit freaked out. It's a little scary.
I just look
Um,
up and say, it's a miracle. Praise God.
Praise God indeed. You are you a what are you? Are you a priest?
I am a servant of God. All things are possible through the Lord. All the glory goes to God. It wasn't me, it was Him working through me.
And yeah, the rumors of that will spread through the village in no time. Everybody
Yeah,
in the village will know
crazy.
about this miracle that Sullivan Jack has performed, including all of you guys. Um, like the whole town is talking about it in no time. Um, and fortunately, this is mostly this is Anglican country, and so yeah, for the most part, they take well to it. They don't have a big problem necessarily with such things. If you were in the Holy Roman Empire, for example, good chance that you might be hung as a witch
Right.
as well. But
So it's
oh,
Father Chris.
instead, word gets around that you must be like a very devout and holy man indeed. That God would perform such a miracle through you. Um, there's a lot of talk about how maybe you should become the Hamlet's priest, and they should get rid of that get rid of the one that they currently have, who seems to need the aid of an assistant to run such a small country church anyway. Um,
Good, good.
I hear he sleeps he sleeps on the floor in the nave. He he should be sleeping in a room, and it should be Father Christopher sleeping on the floor.
It's okay. I don't need anything except what the Lord provides.
Oh, such a holy man, a true servant of God.
So what's Father Christopher think?
Father Christopher could learn a thing or two from a man like you.
Is he
Hopefully,
think
your good
that all?
example will wear off, rub off on him. Father Christopher is he's impressed, and he would actually want to talk to you about it.
All
So
right.
where did you learn to do such a thing?
It was the Lord.
You must be blessed. You've been chosen. I've been
You think so?
I've
Is
been
that what
studying
the
and
Lord sent me here?
practicing the word for almost my entire life. I've never seen anything like it. You know, I was educated in the empire, the Holy Roman Empire, and you want to be careful displaying such a gift if you ever find yourself over there in that part of Europe. They don't
Um,
take they don't take kindly to anyone who can perform miracles of such a sort. They would probably
that's,
hang you as a witch.
I have no doubt because they are, Pope under the Pope. They're all sinners. They've
Mm,
gone astray. But
indeed.
we're in God's country, the real God's country, so I shouldn't have anything to worry about here. But what do you think about me giving a sermon this Sunday?
I don't think really ready. I mean, it takes a lot of time to learn the gospel and to be able to perform such a ceremony. I had to study for many years.
Well, I mean, I have
If you wish, I could write a letter of recommendation for you, and perhaps we could get you
no,
into
no,
a.
nothing so official. I just wanted to kind of address the townspeople, just to kind of put them at ease and quiet the rumors and let them all know that the hand of God is on this town.
Well, if you want to speak at the service, you certainly would be welcome to. Yes, so I could make certain to call upon you to do so.
Excellent. And then I'm just gonna like, hang around town in the inn, talk to people, get them to know me, maybe buy some drinks. I want to endear myself to the people of the village.
Yeah, Gail is very impressed. The beautiful young lady who works at the bar. She lives somewhere in another. Um, I suppose. Yeah, her parents are probably farmers. She probably lives at a farm not too far away from here. But I heard you. I heard you're a miracle worker.
I'm just the servant of God, just a man. All
Mm.
the powers from the Lord Jesus Christ.
Well, these long shifts here at the inn. Many times when I go home, I I can barely walk. My feet are so sore. She bats her eyes.
I ignore her advances.
I could sure use a touch of God in my life, she says.
Well, then be at the church on Sunday. Get saved.
Of course I'll be there.
Good hard work is that's something to be proud of. But if you're ever injured,
Do you think you could do anything about my limp?
mm, I don't know. Some things the Lord gives us as a test, and that's your burden to carry in this life. But I mean, I can pray on it, but it's up to God whether He heals people or not.
Well, my parents raised cattle, and I used to be a milkmaid. I got this as a prize from a kick from a particularly moody cow.
How long ago?
Oh, it was about 2 years ago before I started working at the inn.
Well, I mean, we can give it a try. Let's pray.
She like pulls up her skirt and puts her foot up on the table.
All right, I'll
She
attempt to
pulls
heal.
it up over her knee. She doesn't pull
I don't know if cure light wounds work that way, but we'll try.
it. It doesn't. No.
And I will pray, dear God, heal this woman's ailment if it is your will.
I don't believe it can cure like non
Yeah, I don't think
or pre-existing conditions, as it were, for lack of a better term. Let's use the insurance lingo, shall we? Um, because the injury's healed long ago. Cure serious wounds might.
so. So when it doesn't work, I'll,
Yeah, cure
comfort her.
serious wounds can be used to remove one temporary negative condition instead of restoring lost hit points. So yeah, you could probably do it with a cure serious wounds. Something to think about for the future. But yeah, you do
Yes.
the cure thing, and she's wide-eyed as she sees the light of the holy light kind of spread from your hands and kind of cover her momentarily. But then she's disappointed to find that the limp is still there.
Perhaps there is some sin in your life that you have not admitted to, or perhaps the
She
Lord.
she turns and cocks an eyebrow at you, and she says, "Oh, Brother Sullivan, is that are you flirting with me?"
No, I'm just saying that perhaps the Lord has not seen fit at this time to heal you, but in time, given your good Christian service, maybe that will change.
Yes, maybe so.
Perhaps to, maybe you could do me a favor in the future or something, and that would go a long way towards your redemption.
What kind of favor?
I don't know, some Lord's work. The Lord will reveal it when the time is due. Just be a good Christian and treat your fellow man kindly. Don't sin, and perhaps, God will see fit to heal you.
Well,
Until then,
thank
don't
you for
be.
trying.
Yes,
She
no problem. My pleasure.
limps back to work. The you'll see maybe Bossard, the barkeeper, Bossard. That's right, Bossard. You'll see him kind of like talking to her quietly behind the bar, and she looks a little bit chastised as she returns to work. But she still smiles and does her job.
Yep. They got to do. They got to do what's right. I'll let you know what that is later.
Anything else that you guys want to do before we? Well, yeah. What do you want to do before we advance to March when your home will be constructed?
I actually wanted to see if I could take a horse and go to London and see if I can go to the Catholic church there and get some information on that ruin that we're going to.
Oh, right. Yeah, you wanted to see if you could find any historical information. Let's
Yeah, I figured I could
see.
ask the priests in there that maybe they know something about it.
Let me see here. The oldest Catholic church in London. Okay, cool. Yep, there's this one. So I was just checking to make sure there were. Um, in the early 17th century, it served briefly as an embassy chapel for the Spanish ambassador and a haven for English Catholics. Okay. Part of that, it was the. Wait. Okay, I see. So it was actually the chapel of the bishops of Ely, not which would be Church of England. So it's not. It didn't become a Catholic church until the 1870s. Okay, but what about? Hold on a second. I'm just doing some checks here. 17th century England. Catholics would be restricted. Yep. It's not yet law, but it will be law in a few decades that the monarch will have to be Protestant, but that hasn't quite come into effect yet. So, um, okay, English Catholics, 17th century. Yep, many of them would be fleeing to the colonies across the Atlantic Ocean, where a utopia is said to exist, where Catholics and Protestants can live together in relative peace. So yeah, I'm thinking there wouldn't be any big Catholic temples or anything like that sort in London at this time.
Okay. No, I was just curious because when we got to London at first, you told me there was one. So, but if not, it's just cool. It's not a problem.
There's gonna be one in 1635, but we're not up to there yet. We're still in 1632. So no, you can't do that. If you want to go to some place to that would have like Catholic Church records and things of that sort, you're probably going to have to go to Spain, be the closest place.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Interesting. God, I knew it was bad. I didn't know it was that bad. Well, Ireland, maybe? Maybe Ireland, or maybe even parts of Scotland. Now that I think of it, there was a bunch of Catholics in Scotland, wasn't there? Scotland.
Look at Edinburgh or places like that.
Mm,
There might be some Catholic. That is quite a trek.
yeah, the Roman Catholic Church in Scotland, overseen by the Scottish Bishops' Conference, part of the Worldwide Catholic Church, headed by the Pope. Catholic Church was outlawed following the Scottish Reformation in 1560. So nope, not in Scotland. I mean, there might be, but it'd be totally secretive and underground kind of thing. So nope, no luck in Scotland. Ireland. Yeah, there's definitely still Catholics in Ireland, but
I doubt there would be in Wales. I doubt there would be any in Wales.
no, I don't think there's any in the continental United Kingdom.
Well, there might be underground groups. There'd be underground groups, probably.
Maybe, but he wouldn't know them anyway. So
No, he wouldn't.
yep. So Ireland or Spain.
Ah, yes, go to Spain.
Yeah. No, no, we're good. I just figured, like I said, you had said before there was one in London, so I figured, okay,
Well,
if there's one in London,
the Spanish Netherlands, maybe.
yeah. But no, it's all good.
Okay, it was worth a shot though.
True.
Okay.
I'll just be spending most of the time finishing up copying the spell book over, learning English, and taking strolls around the village and observing the construction.
I gotta learn English too.
Right. Yeah. So let's see. Klaus and Antonio were both learning English, and for teaching them, Cole was learning Italian. Right.
I can teach Cole German also.
Yeah, German and Italian, and yeah.
Well, he's only going to be able to learn one language between now and
Okay.
March. So
make it
Whichever's most
probably
useful.
German would be the best. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I would
in,
be Dutch.
in the construction time, I'd probably go check out Boston, that area.
Sure.
Go check out like the harbor area.
Boston, UK, 17th century.
It won't be that
There we
big
go.
back then, but it definitely would have had a harbor.
Let's see here. So that's the 13th century. Boston, the 16th and 17th century. So during the 16th and 17th centuries, the population of Boston continued to grow.
Mm-hmm.
They had outbreaks of
Yeah.
plague in 1587 to 88, 1603, and 1625. So it's been 7 years
Yeah.
since the last plague. Maud Foster Drain was dug in the mid 16th century. In 1604, James I granted Boston a new charter, and in 1607, a group of Puritans from the Gainsborough area, led by William Brewster, attempted to escape to Holland from Boston. At that time, such emigration was illegal, but they bribed the captain to smuggle them on board a ship. However, he betrayed them to the authorities before they could set sail. Nevertheless, most of the Puritans were soon released, and the next year they escaped in a ship from the Humber. Oh, we were
That
just talking
sounds
about that,
like a
weren't we?
good old Boston spirit. Stab
Mhm.
people in the back.
So yeah, there doesn't seem to be much going on in the 17th century in Boston. It's just a growing town.
Yeah, I
How
know they
doth
would
thou
have.
like them apples?
I know they would have had because our thing has always been markets and stuff, so it would have been good farmers good produce probably back then. People sell that. There'd definitely be ways out because, like, by boat, stuff like that. I don't think that. No, I don't think there was much. I'm trying to think because I should know. Yeah, I'd still go check it out during this time. You don't have to do anything over there. I'll just say that I would go over there and have a nosy around.
So, let's see here. Is there any way to look back further? Population, history, here we go. Growth. Not really talking so much about the population though, is it? I remember we looked this up. Do you remember? Didn't I tell you how many people lived there at this time? Josh, don't you remember? I feel like it came up in a previous session.
Yeah, I think we did look it up. I can't remember. I know its current population, but I don't know it back then.
Current population says it's about 69,000.
Yeah, sounds about
right. I think back then it was around, I want to say it was like 3,000 to 5,000, something like that, maybe 6,000.
Yeah, it was about. I think we said it was about 3,000, 4,000.
Something like that. Sure, a few thousand people anyway. It's a harbor town.
Yeah, definitely a harbor town. Still, well, don't really do much from the harbor, but we're a dead town now. But...
All right. Yep. No problem. You can definitely check out the town. You find out, there lots of. That's probably where you're getting supplies from for building the house, or where they're getting supplies from for building the house. A lot of it's probably coming through Boston. Hell, some of the workers are probably. The workers are probably coming from the local farms, I reckon.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Famous for its traditional markets.
Yeah. So
and its church, St. Bottles, which I knew about because that's our big church. It wasn't that big then, but
right.
You can pretty much see most of Lincolnshire from the top as long as there's no clouds.
Yeah. How often is that though? No clouds.
Very, very rare.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we get a lot of people jumping off there, but that's not for this right now.
Maybe not so much in.
Oh, they would have. There would have been because there's always been people jump. Because one of our folk tales is from probably, I think it is from this era, that a lady jumped off the church with her baby.
Yes. Lovely place.
Yep.
So, what about you, Jack? Any further digging into the deacon or anything, or?
I just want to do my Sunday speech before we move on.
Sure. Yep. Okay. The Sunday church. Father Christopher will acknowledge that there's been quite the hubbub around town recently about a miracle that was performed within our boundaries. And so to clear up any of the suspicions or superstitions or fears that you may have, I'd like to invite Sullivan Jack to speak to you now.
Is all the party members at church this day?
I don't know. Did you guys go to church that week?
Brother Cole?
I always do, yeah.
Cole's there. Gail's there.
I would be there.
Nope.
Beausaird's there, and Dorothy, his wife. Antonio is not there. Okay. Klaus, I'm sure, is there. So Klaus, Cole, and Medina are there.
Yeah, right. I'm only there to keep up appearances.
Right, you're stuck here now. All right, so I'm just going to, give a good speech about how God has led me to this town, and this town has been blessed, has the hand of God on it. Everyone should feel grateful for that. These fine men, friends of mine, are here to help you protect this town, and it'll grow. I see good things in the future, and just kind of go into a sermon without dude's permission. Remember to judge not your brothers. Least ye be judged.
But then Klaus will whisper to Cole, I hope this cat doesn't get us killed.
And remember, all things work for good to them that love the Lord. We're not like those. I kind of talk a little negatively about high priests and bishops in the church. You know that they've gone astray a little bit. You know, it's these country folk and normal people that God is where He really works in the everyday. These wars, God is not happy with these wars. So in this town, let us all come together and overlook our differences and band together when God needs us. Amen.
Amen. Yeah,
In the meantime,
they're quite taken
Oh,
with you,
yeah.
and they're on your side. Yes, Antonio. Sorry.
And in the meantime, Antonio gets a little distracted and doodles a new summoning circle for the Nama Kanachi in the side of a piece of scrap paper. I'm kidding.
All right.
All right, and then I'll kind of talk with, I guess, Brother Cole. He shows up at church a lot. I feel more comfortable with him. He's an Englishman, I think, aren't you?
Yes, he is. Yep.
Yes.
Yes, I'll kind of talk with him a little bit and say, like, you know, if things play right, maybe this town will kind of back us and be on our side. I don't want you guys to have to worry about, you know, the strange things you might get up to. I want this to be a safe place for us.
I,
If I can get the people on our side, then there's no stopping us.
I like the way you think there, Brother Sullivan.
And I know not all of you go to church, or I'm not really concerned about that. Each man has his own destiny with God, but we got to keep up appearances. And I don't know, I might have a good run of taking over this church in the future, maybe with
I
y'all's backing.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. You seem to be a good speaker and in touch with the people. And I think that would take you a long way, sir.
And it's funny because I have a -1 to my charisma modifier, but they like me anyway.
Well, yeah, you've got God on your side.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, God doesn't care about appearances. Look at me. I'm just an old ragtag traveler, but he chooses to work through me. Each one of you could serve the same purpose. We all have a greater destiny, not just the popes and the bishops and the soldiers, but each and every one of us.
Are you a preacher in real life? Because you come across really well as a preacher.
No, but I grew up with that stuff, and like I said, my brother's a priest.
Yeah,
I've heard a
you
lot
do
of
it
it.
real well. You have the voice for it and the enthusiasm for it.
We're
Yeah,
in the middle of an election over here, so I'm just rolling my eyes.
yeah, I'm on the campaign trail.
Hmm.
Yeah,
All right.
he agrees. He agrees with Sullivan Jack, and you know, he thinks it's a good idea. I mean, we can all get along real well here in this town if we all stay together.
And if we have the church or a church on our side, that gives us a buffer, you know, that we are on the side of the Lord. If anybody doubts, out any outsiders.
Yep,
And just
absolutely.
over time, I want to gauge Father Christopher. Is he, you know, on board with this, or is he kind of upset if I'm taking some of his thunder? Or is he like, yes, it's a miracle?
No, he seems to be on board. He's on board with the Lord, you could say.
And if any other
Now,
towns,
he's not too keen on the idea of you taking his job or anything like that, but
oh, yeah, I haven't mentioned any of that out loud.
yeah.
Maybe the townspeople are, but if anybody wants to, you know, give me gifts of food or anything like that, I will gladly take it as well. I'm also looking for a new place to stay.
Right. Now we get down to the brass tacks. Roll a d20 for me.
6.
6.
Yeah.
What's your charisma?
-1 modifier.
No, what's the score?
7.
Okay. Yeah. A family will put you up very nearby. Nice farmhouse. Couple of young lads who help around the family farm. They give up one of their bedrooms for you, so the two boys end up sharing a room. So you can stay with them.
Awesome. All right, and then every day I'll like go to the church and keep up appearances. I'll do work around the church.
Yeah, I mean it's real close. It's less than a mile from the
I'll even
hamlet itself.
hang out around the construction site, help around down there, just wherever in the town.
Very good. So you avoid any kind of living expenses for the time that's going to pass.
As it's a priest.
Indeed. What about the rest of you? The rest of you have to pay living expenses, yes?
Oh yeah, I'm a man of leisure, of course.
Antonio, Cole, Klaus, and Medina. So at 50 silver pieces a month, it's going to be 6 months. So it's going to be about 300 silver pieces in standard living costs.
So that's 3 gold.
Yeah, 3 gold total. No,
Not a problem.
sorry, 6 gold. 6 gold.
6 gold?
Yeah,
You said
6
50
gold.
silver per month?
50 silver per month, 6 months, 6 gold.
6 months. 50 silver per month.
Now,
6 months.
Also, you've got the building going on, etc.
Right, but that still doesn't add up. Oh wait, it's 1 gold, 50 per gold. Right, I got you.
Of course it does.
Duh.
Of course it does. Question my math.
I did. I
Um,
forgot.
I'm seething here.
This isn't the standard fantasy 50 silver per gold.
Did you want to hire any retainers during this time period?
Right now, I don't see myself hiring a retainer yet.
Okay.
Soon.
And what about you, Cole?
I don't know what I'd use a retainer for right now.
Okay, no problem. What about you, Medina?
No.
Not
No,
Medina.
I would.
Sorry. Fuck Medina. Nobody cares about him. Klaus.
Ha! Womp womp.
Wow, you're horrible.
I'm a
No,
person too.
I don't see why I would need a retainer right now.
Okay, cool. No, I specifically asked the owners of the home for a reason. I would like each of you to roll a d4 and tell me your number.
A
Haha.
D4. Haven't had one of those in a long time.
I rolled a 4.
Oh, who said that?
Roll out 2.
Sullivan Jack rolled a
No,
4.
Sullivan doesn't have to. Just Cole, Antonio, and Klaus, the homeowners. You rolled a
Rolled a
4 as
1.
well? 4 and a 1, that's
Roll out
5?
2.
Oh, 2 and a 1. Sorry, it's 3. What did you roll, Rob? 2, 1, and Rob. Also known as Cole. You're muted if you're talking. Uh-oh. Do we lose Rob? All right, I'll take the 4 that you rolled for him, Sullivan. So that's a total of 7. So, times 0.07. Oh, shit, I hit the wrong button, didn't I? Clear. 36,000 silver pieces times 0.07. There's problems with the construction of the home. Some of the wood turns out to be no good. One of the support columns cracks and starts to crumble and has to be redone. You end up incurring another 2,520 silver pieces worth of expenses. Now, divide that evenly amongst the 3 of you, like I'm sure you will. That'll be 840 silver pieces each. or 16 silver or 16 gold and is that right? Yeah, 16 gold and 40 silver apiece.
Okay. I can afford that.
Good.
How about Klaus?
Yeah,
Klaus,
I'm good.
you
I
got
can
another
afford it.
840 silver. This is on top of the 600 silver you also have to pay for living expenses.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
600, 300 silver. Sorry.
After the what we paid for living expenses, I got 166 gold.
Okay.
So
Oh yeah, you got loads. Good.
yeah, so
So
I'll just take off 17 gold.
take out 17. Sure. Rob,
Yep,
you there,
not
buddy?
a problem.
Yes, I am. I just
Okay.
couldn't reach the button to
840
unmute.
silver pieces, or yeah, 840 additional silver pieces in construction costs for basically just poor management.
Mm,
You know, you didn't hire an accountant to look after all the expenses and stuff, and yep.
Yep.
Stupid people.
So
Seems
the
to be.
total between that and the
And the living
living
expenses would be
expenses,
1,140.
I don't know what it would be in gold.
So it's 6
That would
gold
be
for living.
22 gold
Hmm.
and 40 silver,
Okay,
or
that's
23 gold, and just add 10 silver to your.
23 gold. Okay, I'll take off 3 more. All right.
Ooh, you guys pissing away money. Look at that.
Still got a lot of gold.
Yeah, good.
Hmm.
How much silver did you say on the end of that? After the gold?
40.
40. Okay.
Yeah, 22 gold and 40 silver for your total expenses.
Okay.
And that'll bring us right up to March and the finished completion of your home.
Excellent.
Should we have like a christening ceremony? I can bless the building.
I'd rather you didn't.
Might fall apart.
Was there some problem, Sir Antonio? We can't really speak to each other. Have you learned English yet?
Oh yeah.
Not bad.
By March, I'm going to say you can speak English for the most part, and you can read it passably. Yeah, you might not be fluent in 6 months, but you're
All right.
sufficient for survival, etc.
It helps that everybody around here only speaks English. So
True.
So we can all speak English.
Cole, the same goes for you with German. Now you have a working understanding of German. You can speak it, read it to some extent. Okay, so you can write that on your character sheet.
Antonio, your English is much better now.
Yes, I noticed you don't go to church and you've kind of avoided me. I don't want there to
Avoid?
be any problems between us. Let me buy you a drink and let's
Oh,
talk.
would be most welcome.
Okay.
I'm not gonna try and do an accent for this. Sorry.
You don't have to.
I thought about it for a second. I'm like, no.
So
You kind of change your mind in mid-sentence.
Yeah. I mean,
you said
I've been around a lot of Italian second language, English, but I'm no good at doing that accent.
you said that we know about his miracle and all that, right?
Yeah.
He
Oh, everybody probably
Okay.
for 100 miles now.
his
Well,
miracle, yeah.
I
if
mean,
Claus,
just barely. Like people in London might not know about it, but people outside of London would know about it.
because I was gonna say if Klaus is nearby when Solomon's talking to him and he overhears him, he's gonna grab his arm and cast like bless on him, and then he's gonna whisper in his ear that we have different beliefs. See
To
what he
me?
does. Yeah,
You cast bless on Sullivan.
yeah. So that way, and then I would say that we have different beliefs, so he knows that I'm a man of God. It's just.
That's fine. We all believe a little bit differently. I judge a man on his character,
And you
not his
get
belief.
10 points.
Bless is great.
Cool. You got 10 points of bless then. Sullivan Jack.
But I mainly did that so that way he doesn't get any weird like feelings about Antonio. You know.
Oh, I gotcha. That's what you mean when you said that we have different beliefs. You were kind of speaking for Antonio.
Well, I was speaking for both of them because Klaus believes in God, but after the whole thing happened where he almost got killed, he's worried, and plus a lot of people apparently don't like Catholicism in here, so.
Yeah, I just want to put you all at ease that I am not that kind of man. I judge a man on his individual actions, not his beliefs, or these things are complicated. And as long as we follow God, that's good enough for me. Your understanding of, I mean, I was kicked out for not sharing the exact same beliefs.
Now, another thing we need to resolve. Let me see here. We are looking for. Okay. Do I have this page saved? I believe I do. No, I guess I don't. Okay. Um, I'm really bummed I lost one of my freaking Lamentations bookmarks. It's got to be around somewhere, but I have no idea what book it's in. I can't find it.
What do you mean bookmark? Oh, it's like it has like rules printed on it.
It has rules printed on it, and it's a bookmark. I use it for my books. Like, here's one.
That's
You
cool.
probably can't really see that too well. Yeah, Lamentations of the Flame Princess. It's got a picture of
Oh, that's cool.
a cleric on the front there. Oh no, it's a magic user holding an
Yeah,
upside down cross, casting a spell.
I got those too.
Yeah, I'm missing the
Cool.
one with Alice on it, the chick with the arquebus slung over her shoulder. And I got this one also, which has a
Somewhere
bit
around.
from the cover of Magnificent Youth Van Ooms on there.
Yeah, it's definitely around somewhere.
And I've got my Pembertonshire Gardening Society membership card, which is just a club, gives you a dollar off of each book you buy, kind of thing, or something like that, from the web store. Let's see, which adds up,
Definitely.
I am looking for property and finance. Here we go. Investments. Now, Vandergood's Very Good Wood in Eindhoven
Yes.
was a risky investment opportunity.
Right.
Now, okay, a
I
risky.
had 2 stakes in that.
And there's an accountant on the staff as well. Ah. Okay, so here we go. Now, Antonio, you have a total of 10,000 silver pieces. No, 14,000 silver pieces because you
14,000.
have yours and
I have
Rachel's.
2s. Right.
So let's start with the base 14,000. I got my calculator ready. 14,000. Now, please roll 1d20 for me.
Okay. Come on, roll the appropriate amount to make it the best. Whatever that may be. 14.
14 minus 10 is 4. And roll another d10.
D10.
Mm-hmm.
5.
So it's 9. 1.09. Okay. So your 14,000 gold or silver piece investment in Vandergood's Very Good Wood, after 1 year, returns you an additional 1,260 in profit.
Nice.
Okay. Now, do you wish to withdraw or do you wish to maintain your investment?
Well, seeing as I don't think I'll be getting around there again anytime soon, I'm going to withdraw those funds.
Okay, so yeah, you get 15,260 silver pieces. Now, that's sent to you via Henry VIII in Amsterdam. He's looking after that for you. Make sure it gets sent to London through Joop van Ooms, who then makes sure it gets to you in Nonsbeck, because I assume he knows where you are. You kind of kept a little bit in touch or something through,
Right.
through correspondence, whatever, letters or something.
Excellent. Well, they made a nice profit, so I know that they're doing well. That's good enough for me.
Let's see. Oh yeah, roll percentile for me, please. Shit, I should have done this beforehand.
2.
You rolled 2%?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that good or bad?
We'll roll it over to the textile shipping one. It means that the textile shipping one from Amsterdam to London has gone bankrupt.
Oh, okay. So there's no money then.
There's no money. You don't get the 7,000 silver pieces or anything back for that.
Oh well, that wasn't that money anyways.
True. And that's gone bankrupt, so that is no longer an investment. You still have. I'm just going to change this now instead of saying Rachel and Antonio. Oh no, you don't, because you close that out with Vandergood's Very Good Wood.
Right.
So there are no more investments now.
Yep. But I am up 305 gold off of that.
True. Oh. You know what else we didn't work out?
What's that?
We didn't work out your rent for 6 months in the inn.
Well, we had
food
a month
costs.
paid up front.
True. So 5 months basically.
Right.
And the rooms cost 1 silver piece a day or 2 silver pieces in your case.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
So 150 days? Just to make it simple.
Now,
30
just
days
putting
each.
something in here. Let's see. When did you first arrive there? You arrived on the... I'm in the wrong section. I gotta scroll down much further to the later part
What
of
is
the
it now?
notes.
May?
You're going to March, so you arrived there in the 10th of September, but you paid for a month. So we're going to go from the 10th of October okay, whatever, to the 15th of March. No, okay, calculate the duration. So that would be 157 days. So for Cole, Klaus, Medina, it's going to be 157 more silver pieces for your rent. In the case of Antonio, it's 314 silver.
Excellent.
Okay. That pays you right up to March 15th, by which point your house is complete. So.
When it's over again?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
How many silver to it rolled again? Trying to get that down. 50, that's right.
Yeah, 50 silver is 1 gold. So 3 gold and 7 silver, if you want to convert it that way. Again, no cost for you, Sullivan Jack, because you're staying for free with that family. I mean, yeah, you do some work or whatever. You help them out around the farm a little bit, and you pray at all their meals and stuff, But
Yeah, they could probably.
But they're feeding you and putting you up. So okay, did you get what you were looking for, Jose? I heard you say something, but I don't know what you said.
No, I have a
Yeah,
question.
I'm good.
Sorry.
Okay,
I
cool.
have a question.
Yes.
So the whole partition with the secret door, I can't imagine that would have been something that we had in the basic construction.
Okay, so we're gonna go to your map. Okay, and let's.
I mean, I would have had like some specialist that I probably hired through Yoop or contacted through Yoop for that kind of work. Someone who has discreetness in mind.
Discretion.
Discretion, that's the word. Like a mason of discretion. It's not something I want to be common knowledge.
All right, I'm gonna pull this up here. There you go. So the partition between the library and the laboratory, is it? Oh no, the
That's just that wavy line is just actually a map marker for a curtain.
So you mean from under the stairs, the door into the laboratory from the basement?
Right. So there's the wall for the basement. I guess they could have put that wall in for some reason. But yeah, we want that for like, some special stuff, and then like another wall. But see, I would want the wall for the library built with the house. But the wall that goes from the library wall to under the stairs with the secret door, that should be done only after by the man of discretion, by the mason of discretion,
Right.
so that all that people know is that there's a big place in there, and if anybody ever goes down there, it's still a large basement. I mean, that's what
It's nowhere near as
it's
large
still
as.
20 by 20. It's still
Mhm.
however much that is. Still
Gotcha.
a very large area, and people are stupid for the most part. Unless they're really paying attention, they won't realize that like
Mhm.
a third of the basement is all they can see,
Right.
especially once we get barrels and shit up.
Mhm. No problem.
Not very many people should be going down there anyway.
Exactly, because there's
Yeah.
a hatch over that door. So
Okay. So you're basically paying a specialist mason to look after that, yeah?
right,
And you want to know how much extra that'll cost.
right, because
Seems
it does need a
sensible to
secret
me.
door.
That will go in retainers for sure.
Mhm.
Where are the rules for retainers? Set after? No, it's before this. Okay, property finance. Here we go. Retainers. So,
Probably someone from the continent, even who
craftsman,
could come over.
probably.
Craftsman, definitely.
In the case of, yeah. Okay. Now, probably a month's wage. That's the minimum anyway. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, it costs you an extra 100 silver.
Excellent. Good thing I got that investment. I will actually pay him. So 100 silver is 2 gold. I will pay him. I'm going to pay him 3 times his salary for that.
So you're gonna pay him
So
300 silver, 6 gold.
right, so 6 gold.
Okay.
So the best thing to do would be to have him come after we already move in there.
Right.
Without a maid or anything. We'll just be taking care of our own house for a little
For
while.
now, exactly.
Yeah. And that way, otherwise people will be wondering what he's doing. So that way
Right. So there was extra stone. He said he can just leave the stone there because we got the measurements from the dude.
Yeah, just leave it in the basement.
Right. And then he can use that to make the final partition. And
Yeah, because your overall 36,000 covered the cost of the entire place. So yeah, you
exactly.
can definitely have the extra stuff there. No problem. Cool.
Exactly. All right.
All right, so that'll actually end up probably taking us into April anyway.
I want to. I know this guy's a stone man, but he may be able to work in wood also. I want to. Well, I don't really need him to do that. Never mind.
All right.
But what I want to do is get a big and some. Well, I want to get some alcohol down there. Beer, I guess they don't have.
Oh yeah, you can order some stuff. Both there the can help you out with that too.
They didn't have hard spirits back yet then, did they?
I think
wine
did. Yeah, certainly. I mean, they had.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. They definitely had whiskey and.
You sure? When was that all?
Gosh,
When was whiskey first distilled? The first evidence of whiskey production in Scotland comes from 1494.
Oh, okay.
Now, in Ireland, 500 AD, somewhere between 500 and 600 AD.
Yeah, so hard spirits have been around for a while.
The Scots claim they have the hard written evidence that proves that they invented whiskey distillation in 1494. But there was new evidence to suggest the Irish were distilling Irish whiskey before. Oh, yeah, there we go. Cool. Yeah. And what I've always said anyway. There were further written records of Irish whiskey in the annals of Clonmanois, dating back to 1405. So yeah, there you go. I always say the Irish invented it, but the Scots perfected it. So what can you do?
Said about many products. in
Just
many
like the
different countries.
The English invented the language, but the Irish taught them how to use it. You know, and if you spend any time in England, you know that to be true. All right. So there we go. And oh yeah, sorry, I was looking up prices for booze and stuff. Yeah. This is like bottles, ration, standard. No, but what about buying in bulk?
Maybe the innkeeper would know something about it to help me out.
I bet you somebody has written about it online. OSR bulk alcohol costs. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, OSR means old school role playing dickheads, not fucking. Sorry, I got a bunch of stuff up about Irish laws on purchasing of alcohol. It's not what I'm looking for at all. Old school RPG. Wow, so bizarre. RPG extended equipment list, something like that. What is this? Let's look at this. This might give me an idea. Anyway, this is a gold standard. I can just convert to silver. Oh fuck! I didn't want to look for. I wanted to look for like a blog post or something. Not something I have to buy. Expenses, equipment, special foods. Let's look at special foods. Oh Jesus, no. See, this is what I hate about Dungeons and Dragons. Get the fuck out of here, D&D. How much are you looking to buy anyway?
Not a whole lot to begin with. I mean, just enough to put some stuff down in our basement, to make it where we have alcohol and where, it looks like why we had the basement put there.
Right. It's also good for storing like root vegetable, other things like non-perishables. I will be showing Klaus and Cole the method of getting into the lab, and I'll also section off like I don't need all of it for now because it's going to take a while to get it all filled up. But I'll offer part of it as storage for our valuables because it's behind the secret door, rather than leave our gold. If we're going to be leaving town for any length of time, rather than leaving it in a room in a chest and vulnerable, let's stick it in the secret room down in the basement, where it's hard to find.
Good idea. Because I'm sure you're going to have some spells over top of that room. So.
I could put an explosive rune on there. I don't have anything much else yet that I can use to secret it.
Okay. Looking at this.
I have Wizard Lock. Excellent.
Half a barrel is that? A full size keg. Wait, where the fuck is that? Half a barrel equals that, equals that, equals that. Quarter barrel. I don't want a quarter barrel or a half barrel. What about a full barrel? We'll go with this anyway. I'm going to say it's about a 42-gallon barrel, which is 159 liters. So that would be about 318 pints. Now, what kind of beer do you want to buy? Like,
Maybe
you want cheap, decent, good, or rich?
Well, at least decent, if not rich. What's the difference between decent and rich price wise?
Decent costs, generally speaking, costs 2 copper pieces per drink. Rich costs somewhere around 10 silver pieces or more per drink. Good, 4 copper pieces per drink. Cheap, 1 copper piece per drink.
Clearly, you go cheap, just like I'm drinking right now.
I'd go decent, because we're not going to buy that much of it to begin with anyway. So.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to calculate this. So 318 times 2 silver pieces plus the cost of the barrel itself, which is another 5 silver pieces. Okay, and since you're buying it in bulk, I'm going to give you a discount. How much of a discount? Yeah, we'll say that much. All right, it'll cost you 520 silver pieces.
Or how many barrels you said?
1 barrel.
1 barrel. Okay.
Yeah, it's 318 pints.
Okay, I'll buy
beer.
it. Yeah. Sure.
Wine, you could probably buy wine or liquor. You could buy by the bottle.
Yeah, get a few bottles of that in decent quality.
Decent quality wine. You just want a few bottles. How many do you want? Like, if you picture like a rack.
Well, I would say I'd go not too many until I get to know wine very well, to make sure we get good stuff.
Okay. To give me a
typical
number.
wholesale discount, according to Mr. Google, is from like 20, 40, 50 to 55% on orders purchase of like large amounts. But it's up to you because it's your game. So I'll shut up.
Yep. So how many bottles? Give me a number.
Oh, let's say 20 bottles of different. No, okay. So let's say this first. 1 bottle to try out the wine to see if we like it or not, and if we do, then we're going to order more bottles of it. So,
Okay. How many do you want to order if you like it?
if you like it, let's order. And we got quite a few people here. Maybe 10 bottles of it.
10 bottles. Okay.
Yeah.
Plus 1. We'll say that's 11 silver pieces.
Okay. Just keep a track and then tell me when I'm get.
I'll tell you, make it 10 silver pieces. Make it 10 silver pieces. So.
And hard liquor. That'd be by the bottle or by a
bottle. Yep.
Bottles. Whiskey. Probably about 10 of those too. After we tasted one, figure out if it's
another 10
decent.
silver pieces.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's 20 plus whatever you told me
Yep,
earlier.
you're up to 540 so far.
540. Okay. I think that's a start.
Okay. Cool. So you can just say you have stock. Let's call this the basement. Sorry, we'll call it the cellar. Stock. So you've got, we said 1 barrel of ale, probably. And that's going to be, I said 318 pints or 159 liters, right? There we go. You also have 10 bottles decent wine and 10 bottles of decent whiskey. And we're going to do that without the E because it's coming from Scotland. And yeah, that was also decent ale as well, right? Yeah, decent. What's the pricing I went with? Okay, cool. There you go. I've written down your Zeller stock. And you spent the 540 silver? Took it off, yeah? Everybody caught up on their finances?
I am.
Yeah.
Good.
I did not have many. So.
Yeah, you didn't. Sorry. Neither did Sullivan, but he had none
Well,
because
that's okay.
he's living the
Unless I was gifted a bunch of stuff that I need to take down, but I don't think
Well,
it's that far.
to be honest, if Cole
Oh,
bought alcohol, I would have given him some money towards it. So.
You know alcohol for you. Oh no, wait, was that Klaus? No, that's Cole. No,
No,
that's
no, it is
That's
for
Medina.
me.
Medina.
I would not drink it, but I would still, because I haven't really put much money in, so I'd still put the money in for it. I would not drink it.
How much
I
money are you
would-
gonna give him?
I'm just gonna buy it. If he wants anything extra, then he can buy it, or
No,
you
no,
know, just let me
I'll
know.
give you, I'll pay half of it. It's fine. I'll pay half.
270 silver pieces. Give him.
Yeah.
Okay.
so what y'all built was this is a private house.
Right.
Yep, it is.
Many
That's
rooms.
the main floor plan.
Well, when it's all done, I want to come down, knock on the door.
Of course.
Ah, you built a wonderful place here. Mind if can I get a tour, show around?
Please come on in.
Thank you.
It's nothing much to show yet. Our living area, the kitchen area, down the hall, our rooms, and under the hatch there leads to our cellar, where we have put away some libations.
Looks like pretty solid construction.
We did a
Yep.
fairly good job. I'm happy.
It's a stone framing support structure and wooden, like walls and floors, etc. So.
Yep.
Except of course the basement floor, which is stone. But
Right. Maybe unusual, but probably is unusual.
I should have charged you extra for that, but that's okay. I charge you plenty. Charge you enough for everything. I'm content.
Yeah, we spent a lot of gold in this town.
Yes, you did.
I would also request to stay a room in your place, so I would pay.
Yeah. Oh, you got rooms for rent.
There are. Let's see. We have. Oh shoot. Am I? Yeah, I'll be sleeping in a room upstairs. Cole said you wanted room 5, right? I'll be in 2.
Well,
I think it was 5.
Yeah, I grabbed 4.
So 2 is Antonio.
Yeah, 5 is what I was wanting. Yes.
4 is going to be Klaus. 5 is Cole.
I would take 1, but how much do you want them? How much do you want rent wise?
What's the rate?
Oh, it's 10 foot by 15 and a half. Oh no, 17 and a half.
No, let me talk to Antonio, Italian, my friend. Let's talk to
Yes.
him. Do we really want to charge these guys? I mean, we've already paid for it. I mean,
Well, you paid for it, but they didn't.
no, I know, but I mean, are we going to become a boarding house, or are we just going to,
Medina would feel bad if he did not pay any money.
Well, there's always food you could buy and things like that, But that's it. I'll leave it up to you, Antonio. You've been kind of in charge of the household stuff.
Yeah, let's see here. Where's that at?
I could always put money in for food into the food supplies.
Food would be good. I mean, that's what I would want the money for.
Yeah,
Lodging,
exactly.
there it is.
Yeah.
So it's what, 1 silver a day for like a regular pour in. It looks like.
For an inn, yeah. Let's see. Well, the inn here charges 1 silver piece per day, but the room,
Right.
the doors don't lock or anything of that sort.
Right.
Of course, then neither do yours. So.
What's the standard food cost per person per month?
I believe it was 50 silver pieces per month for just like food and basic supplies.
Got it. I'm not gonna worry about charging rent then.
They may
I mean,
they may be able to
everybody's
help.
gonna be-
They may be able to help if they want to do the food chores. Then we don't have to hire somebody to come in and make our meals for
No.
us. No.
We're gonna be getting. I'm already looking into retainers for that kind of thing.
I could always just put 30. I'll put 30 gold into a fund for now, just for like towards the food and stuff for everyone. 30 gold for now.
30 gold.
And then I'll
Jeez.
just...
It's
No,
a lot of gold.
you guys
I
got
have a lot of gold. I have quite a bit of gold. I have
We're
quite
gonna have a
lot of gold.
feast.
Obviously, it's not for one go. Jesus.
So we're gonna have, if Jack eventually moves in with us as well, we're still gonna have one spare room. And looking at the retainer list, a servant needs a 10-foot square. So we could have one room for 2 servants if we ended up getting 2 servants. And their live-in wages is pretty cheap. It's only 42 silver a month.
Have you
Well, that's-
looked at the rules on property and maintenance and stuff?
I had not looked at that yet, no.
Okay. Just for your information, so that you make
But
an
well,
informed decision.
Yeah, I'm not going to think about it now, though. I don't want to get into that now because we're not going to be in town much longer, I'm hoping. We're going to go on an adventure and stop with all the housekeeping for episode after episode. I mean, we can look into that stuff in between. So,
Well, because basically you need to have a handyman to take care of any kind of repairs and stuff,
right.
and you need to have an accountant if you want to make sure you don't overpay on your property taxes every year.
All right.
Now, the accountant doesn't have to live in,
Excellent.
per se. You could hire somebody from Boston.
That's probably a good idea.
Same with the handyman. Probably you could.
Yeah, I wouldn't have either of them be living. But I would like to have at least a servant in the home. So there's always somebody going to be here cleaning and taking up. Because, I mean, there's only so much I can do with my invisible friend in terms of cleaning. It's like 2
Also, if
hours
you're going
of
to be
time.
going adventuring, you might want some kind of security
Right.
when you guys are going. Something to
Right.
consider, especially if you're going to be leaving your treasure here.
Well, that's luckily hidden, but even still.
What we need to do then is find like a husband and wife that would live in that one room, and the husband could be the security and the wife could be he could do a little maintenance, and then she could do the cleaning and the cooking.
Or have the husband be the handyman and have her do the cooking. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Right.
He could defend, or as much as he could defend anyway, if something happened while we were gone. At least he could rally the townspeople to help.
Right. I mean, even if we hire like one guard, if there's people living in the house all the time, it's going to deter folks from doing anything.
Yeah.
But even if we have like hired a guard, I mean, life is cheap. How long would they'd be able to hold out long enough to like shout for additional help, unless it's just one person. Then they might be able to, stop something. But if you got 2 people living there, it makes it that much easier. But we want trustworthy people, folks who aren't going to flap their lips around the place, even though servants are going to do that no matter what.
Well, I mean, if you're hiring specifically like a family, a couple, perhaps that either their children have grown up and moved on in life, or just don't have children, for example.
Right, or they're not able to for whatever reason. But
So you'd be looking at a servant and a handyman, which is laborer. So they have live-in wages here. So that's a live-in monthly wage. Yeah, 42 silver each. So it'd be 84 silver pieces.
Excuse me. And they both require 10-foot space.
So let's put this on here. So let's see. Maintenance.
Oh, in feet square.
Costs.
Does that mean they need 5 by 5? That's crazy.
So you're going to have a handyman, which I'll just put laborer so we know what he's referenced under, and a servant. So the wage is live-in 42 silver piece per month, and it's the same for the labor as well. There we go. Got it. We should give them names.
Indeed. So I would have spoken with who do we speak to about that?
Maybe Bosard and Dorothy.
Yeah.
Or even Father Christopher, perhaps. Somebody from the church.
You put up a work notice in the inn or at the church. with
Yeah,
an
I mean,
interview.
the two main centers in town are going to be the church,
Hmm.
because it's, you get, like I said, there's like 72 people who kind of live in the area that kind of come and go
Right.
to the church and visit the inn from time to time, etc. The church
Well,
and the inn. So they're
being that
gonna
I'm a filthy, degenerate magic user, I'd rather not deal with the church, but
right, but anybody you hire is probably going to be going to the church anyway.
right. Which is nice. So they're going to be, if anything, I'd want them to be in room 6, because if I'm down in my laboratory making noise, that gives me the maximum distance from them, since the lab
Okay.
only overlaps room 1 and 2.
So that puts room 3 for Sullivan Jack.
Mhm.
Yeah, if they are
Um,
going to offer me a room, I would be most grateful. God
Sure,
bless you. I'm tired of living with that family.
I'm sure. And
Merrick, I got an idea that we probably should have thought of earlier though. Okay, the library has no access to the cellar, the basement, correct?
no, it's separate. So you see that wavy line? That's just a curtain. I just put that in there to show the separation between the lab area and library area. There'd be like a thin curtain, like a dust curtain there to keep the books, eventually the library, safe from any dust and such it might make in the lab.
Because
But it's all separate from the basement.
with people living here, it's going to be strange that you're always down in the basement. So if you could get to the library, lock the door behind you, say you're studying, and have a way to get to your basement would be ideal. But I don't know how that's going to happen unless you act like you're going to the study and lock the door with some kind of magic and then take off down the regular route.
That would have been an idea. Rather than putting the
Yeah.
secret door behind the stairs, put the secret door in room 2 down into the basement. But we'd still need to be able to carry things down there. So that,
yeah, I mean, if you just have the cellar, you don't want people coming out of your bedroom for that.
right.
No, but if
Why are they carrying all these tables into Mr. Valenti's room? And they go in there, and it's just a bed and a thing that's never slept in a chest. And they're like, where'd all those
Right.
tables go? Where'd all those boxes of glassware go?
Yeah, I want to set you up before we get anybody moving in there because the fewer people that know exactly what you got going on down there is better off. So, but yeah, to see you got if there's
Honestly, what I was thinking, if we're going to be getting servants, is I was going to charm them, from a distance so they don't see me doing it. It has quite a range on charm, so that they would be prone to not,
not
then
paying
not do
attention.
any right, and be more prone to let my little foibles go.
Yeah. Okay. That work.
Yeah, it's got a 120-foot range, so I mean that's well out of speaking of hearing distance.
Sure. Of course, let me think. There's a saving throw, right?
There is a saving throw, yes.
Sure.
I
mean, if they make the save, they're gonna know you tried to cast on
right.
them. But
Saving throw versus magic.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want them to be utterly fascinated with me either, is the thing. I don't know about that. I'd rather not go mind controlling my servants if I don't have to.
So the library sits over top of the basement, the regular basement.
The library is part of the basement.
The library is part of the basement.
Right. So see that square. So there's a square on the left, which is the ground floor, and then there's that separation, and the square on the right is all downstairs.
All down. Okay, so
if you look at it, the basement is pretty much underneath the common room.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit of room 1.
I didn't understand that part of it. Okay,
right. So the basement actually overlaps the common room perfectly, and then the library is under room 1.
Yeah.
And the lab is a kitchen in my room.
Yeah. So all you gotta do is say I'm going to the library, and you go down there, and they don't know anything different. So
well, the library is secret as well.
Sealed off too, because it's going to have lots of arcane texts and anatomy of
I thought that
common vampire and lots of forbidden things. So yeah.
I thought that was so you want to get a trap door put into your room?
I could do that, but no. I mean, it makes no sense.
You could just have like a workbench and stuff in the basement and say, I'm going down to tinker or do whatever. It's your house. They don't need to question why you're in.
Right. But they're gonna want to need. They're gonna need to have to go down there at least to get things.
Well, I tell you what. Let's take a bio break, and you guys can discuss this further.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's
So
all
much
right.
housekeeping.
No, don't worry about
last
it.
2 sessions.
It's important stuff. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's a campaign.
to it.
Anyway, we're not in a hurry.
Right. I want to get to the adventure.
Well,
though, but
Mark
I
might be in
understand.
a hurry because he's just got here.
Yeah, we've been going pretty hard and heavy too. This is the first time we've had this much downtime to just do background stuff. How do we want to do this?
This is the longest campaign I have run since, well, at least since before I moved out of America. You know, like I don't even know if I ran anything that ran this long when I lived in Chicago. I don't remember.
This is definitely the longest running one I've been in.
Yeah, so
The
there you go,
longest
then.
one I ever ran was that Spycraft one, and that went on for quite
This
a
is
while.
probably the longest one I've run then since my long-running second edition campaign back in the 1990s.
All right.
Fuck.
Nice. Nice.
I'm sad now. I just made myself feel old. That is accurate. Yeah, it would have been. Wow. I should feel old. I am old. Fair enough.
Well, there's all that. Why is that there?
So to mind control the servants or not to mind control the servants? That is the question.
Right.
A question of ethics. What kind of a man are you, Antonio? Are you the kind of man who hires people and treats them with respect and earns their trust, and vice versa, or are you the kind of man who uses magic to manipulate them into never betraying you? And
Exactly.
We can always pay them a little above what they will be normally making, so they're like super fucking happy to work for us and shit.
Could do that, but
pay them for their discretion, bribe them.
Or you could just be really nice to them and not be an asshole.
there's that too. Which is my intention is honestly to be.
I don't have to feel guilty. It's non.
Kama Sutra, that was a good one last week.
Yeah, but this is non-dairy. So.
What?
Okay, that's good.
What are you talking about?
Or
Huh?
Non-dairy Ben and Jerry's cookie dough ice cream.
Oh, okay. Ice cream. I was like, Kama Sutra. What the fuck is going on here?
there it is.
At least eating this, I won't have the issue of killing myself.
See, yeah, I say I don't want to disconnect the library from the lab because that would mean I'd have to go out the secret door and then into the library and then back to the secret door. Or I could put a second. There could be a second secret door between the library and the lab, but even then, if I like happen to like, yeah, I'd rather that just be all walled off. I definitely would rather it be a couple.
We love a good bit of housekeeping.
Well, we could have a root cellar out back for vegetables and things like that. Tell them we don't want them down where the alcohol is because if a bottle gets broken, it's so expensive and blah 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 blah. So we lock the basement.
Could do that.
I mean, for now, we could just hire someone to guard the house while we're gone. They don't have to live in it, just watch it if we don't have any live-in people at this point.
That means we have to take care of the messy messes we make. And
Yeah, that's
Yeah, we have to
400.
clean up after ourselves, but
The area of the basement right now, the public area is 400 square feet, so that's a lot of room because each of those is 2.5 feet square.
yeah, you can
How
maybe break it
tall
up into other rooms.
parallels?
There could be like a front basement and a back room to the basement, and that's where you slip through.
I think you should have multiple ways to get in,
'Cause
like
that
one in your
basement,
room and another two different ones.
Well, there are windows in each of the bedrooms.
and you could have like several like shelves down in the basement to where it's a little maze to get to the secret spot.
Right. Well, it's right under the stairs, so you like go around under the stairs, which are just like slabs. Imagine like thick wood slabs, and then you push the right combination of stone, and the door opens up, and you go in, and you shut it, and then you can't see it because it swings in, so you won't see the scrape in the ground. That eventually will form, I'm sure. Barrels are 3 foot tall.
And you could have like the stuff that the servants need to get to, just have it right at the bottom of the steps, and the rest of the stuff could be cluttered, and you gotta, sneak around.
Right.
but it's his disappearance is that's what's going to be difficult to explain all the time.
Right.
Where is he? And they go down the. Oh, he's in the basement. Well, he's not in the basement. So
Pay an extra for their ignorance. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. And I'm not openly magic for a couple of you.
Wait a minute,
Actually, only one of them. Only one of you doesn't know that I'm a mage. Yeah.
Merrick.
Yeah.
I don't have. I'm not sitting in front of my book or anything, so you'll have to tell me. But the spell, unseen servant.
Yes.
Would it be possible that you wouldn't need a servant in the house if you had an unseen servant? I don't know what the duration is and all that.
The servant lasts for 2 hours. It can clean and mend.
Okay.
It's not permanent. I mean, eventually I'm going to make a permanent unseen servant, but
2 hours is still pretty good. I mean,
yeah, it can do like a lot of the cleaning and that such, but
I mean, I'm a man of simple means. I'm used to cleaning up after myself. You got to live pretty faulty.
It doesn't need to last. I mean, I don't need to do it every day. I could like once a week or something, learn it for 3 times and then have 6 hours of servant cleaning to do.
So, just a thought. Try to put myself in the player's shoes. You could use the unseen servant to take care of the cleaning and stuff when you guys are there. You could keep one of the locals at one of the, nearby farms or whatever, on as a handyman on retainer. So when you need repairs done around the house, he comes in and does it. You pay him a monthly wage. The wage would be slightly higher because you're no longer paying his room and board. He's not living with you.
Right.
But whatever. You can have an accountant on retainer from Boston just to handle your taxes and stuff.
Right.
So you don't get robbed blind on property taxes because that has to be paid every year.
Yep.
And then the only issue becomes protecting the house when you're gone. So you hire security to live in there when you're not there. Right? You hire some people to come in, live in the house. They can use the kitchen.
Or
whatever.
if we don't want anybody in the house, just have them patrol around the house when we're gone. Because it might be good to keep that extra room empty for guests or something.
Right.
Well, possibly. That's another idea. But I was just thinking, even if you just hired them to stay there when you get away, then you won't have to pay them when you're gone. You don't have to pay them all the time.
Yeah, we don't have to permanently live there.
As far as protecting your secret laboratory, you could just put one of your explosive runes on the door. Can't you?
Well, I wouldn't put it on the door. I would put it. Because what if they go down there and they snoop around and someone goes under they're like, let's see what's under the stairs here. What's this writing? Boom.
No, I meant the door into the laboratory from the basement.
Right, that's what I meant. That's where the secret door is, under the stairs. So I would put it like inside, where after they open the door, it's like the first thing they see is, boom, explosive rune.
Right.
Didn't you say you had a wizard lock?
I do.
So that just keeps it shut.
It locks it, so even if they did like the code, it wouldn't open.
Yeah, then it wouldn't blow up.
There's that. Yeah, wizard lock. I can just wizard lock it. I wouldn't have to worry about it exploding.
We could wizard lock the whole house when we're gone.
But here's the thing. Wizard lock is permanent.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I could knock it open, would be something I could do, but that would mean I have to learn knock anytime I wanted to go into my lab.
Or dispel magic.
Even then, it's still permanent. Dispel magic and knock will negate the wizard lock, but after they will lock again. It will, after it's closed again.
Yeah, so you
it
need
will
lock or dispel every time you went in.
Yep, anytime you close it, it would lock. The wizard lock would engage. After you open it.
Oh.
So that's not really an option yet. Because I thought about that, and I was like,
Don't keep anybody out except you.
Yeah, but does wizard lock only work? But here's the thing: can a wizard just go through his own wizard lock spell without it worrying about it?
I think you still got to cast a knock or a dispel.
Read me the spell.
I'm pretty sure it does. It says, here it is. Some doors are never meant to be opened. This spell magically holds shut a door, gate, window, or shutter of wood, metal, or stone. The magic locks the portal just as if it was securely closed and normally locked. A knock spell or dispel magic spell can negate a wizard lock spell, but the wizard locks will take place again when a portal opened with a knock spell is closed again, or take effect when a wizard lock spell, when a portal opened. After you use knock and close it, it'll lock again. If you dispel it, it won't. But I don't want to have to No,
Like the key.
That's right. Whenever I'm there, I can just dispel the wizard lock. When I leave, I can lock it. There we go. Okay, I didn't read it fully. Okay. Knock, if you use knock on wizard lock, it will open again. It'll lock again once it's closed.
Dispel.
But if you dispel it, it'll stay permanently gone. Okay.
And did y'all notice the dispel for wizards and clerics is different?
I did not.
Yeah, there's two different dispel magics, and they don't always work on each other.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, a magic user dispel has no effect on cleric spells. But it doesn't say that about cleric dispel versus magic users, so that's interesting.
Oh, that's interesting.
Kind of dirty.
You can use it on creatures and it just banish them. All summoned or other enchanted creatures within 30 feet of the caster must succeed in a saving throw or be destroyed. Even if the save is made, they have a -7 to hit for the next 6 turns on the user. You use it on a magic user, and you have to make a saving throw for every prepared spell, and failure means that spell is lost until prepared again.
Nice.
Oh. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, so I can just dispel it when I come back.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, so then so I guess and then we can we could. I mean, if that's the case, that's the big thing I'm worried about. I mean, we also can put a lock.
Of course, the other thing to keep in mind is that any cleric could come along and use the spell magic to get in there as well.
Right, but he would have to first be able to find it or know it's there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there should be no other clerics in here.
You have 2 clerics in your party.
Right.
Besides us 2.
Right.
If there's any other clerics in town, we'll see about that.
Well, I will try to do my best not to give reason for the church to notice me, if possible. Although I know 1 cleric, 2 clerics in the world who know I can do things. Well, more than that, but we won't get into that now. So far, I haven't displayed any magic in front of Jack yet.
Yeah, I just suspect you're a eccentric scholar.
Right, and that's what I try to portray myself as. All right, so I mean, if that's the case, if I can wizard lock that, we can always put a lock on the door, the hatch to the basement, saying, well, there's, I mean, there's alcohol down there. If they break in there and get in there, we come back and see they've done that. Well, then they're not getting paid. If something happens to the house, then they don't get paid, or they disappear.
Yeah. So far, the only person in town that looks shady is Gernot.
Right. Awesome.
Why is that? Just because the way he looks? I mean,
He
way
wants
he acts.
magic books.
The way he acts, he just acts kind of creepy.
He wants us to get him a magic book. So I'm sure if he knew there was stuff right under his nose, he'd be in.
Damn! I hope they never find out I have a certain book.
Oh yeah. I hope I don't find that out. What would
Right.
I do?
Well,
I saw the old episodes, so I know what you're talking about. But
the Malleus, yeah.
I think a cleric knows it on sight.
I think so, yeah. Luckily, I copied all the spells from that into, well, not all of the spells. All the spells I'm able to cast, I've copied into my book.
And doesn't that have the spells that can like erase cleric spells from the world?
I don't think I have that spell.
It erases your spell, and then if you tell somebody else about it, it erases their spell. So you could make cleric spells just disappear over time.
I don't know about that. It might be one of those. I don't see anything in there like that.
Now, maybe it was something else I was thinking.
Unless you're thinking it's Lost Weomer, but that's not an actual spell.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know that spell you're talking about. I don't think that's in that one.
Yeah, I don't think it's in our library. Oh, that's right.
Or unless I overlooked it. But okay, I am back. Is everybody here?
Yes.
All right, back to the game. So.
Right, so we have a consensus then. I can wizard lock it and then dispel it when I get back. Because I remember I still had 11 days of research left on that spell. I imagine enough time has passed for me to finally finish the research on that.
So room 6 is just going to be a spare room?
Yes, for guests or guards for the house.
And I will erase Jasper and Isabella Hopkins.
Okay.
So we're not going to have servants then.
Oh, well, no, you're still going to have Jasper. You can still have Jasper Hopkins on retainer.
Right.
What the fuck?
They won't be somebody that you get up at night and say, "Hey, make me some coffee or hot chocolate or whatever."
Yeah, you're a man. You can take care of yourself.
Well, I can do that for you, Cole.
Whoa. Well,
he'll be the manservant of the house.
So that's going to raise his wage to 56 silver pieces a month. He's no longer a live-in. But an accountant? You going to hire an accountant?
Yeah, we're going to need one.
Let's get a name.
What's his name? Jasper? The handyman?
Yeah, Jasper something. Jasper Hopkins.
Excellent.
I don't like those names. Get a different list of names. Here we go.
I got some English name chart here.
We're going to go with Marcus Robinson. Accountant, Boston. And how much do you have to pay an accountant per month?
It's like a percentage of something.
That's for investments. I think there's also
1% of amount handled.
Really?
Yep.
Is that all it says for accountants?
It's on retainer. Yep, 1% per amount handled. So I guess we figure that payment out when it comes to paying the taxes.
Yep, 5% of amount handled, not 1%.
Oh, my list is 1%.
What list?
On retainers, accountant, the first one.
Oh, you're looking at the Grindhouse book, aren't you?
Yeah.
See, that's something that was updated, I suppose, in the
okay.
updated rules. The current.
Okay. Well, 5% is not a terrible amount.
Okay, so 5% of accounts handled. All right, there we go.
All right, so we're in early April then, huh?
Now, yeah, we'd be into. Let me see here. Pull up my lap. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you'd be around. What day of the week you want it to be? You tell me.
Monday.
It's Monday, the 4th of April, 1633.
The day. No, you already did your sermon a while ago.
Yeah, but did we have Christmas and everything?
Oh yeah, that would have passed.
Did they do Christmas back then? Back then, like, wasn't it like a wild drunken revelry like Halloween? The Pope outlawed Christmas at some point.
Hold on, I'm looking it up right now. Oh, this is not what I want. I want to know
I know we want
the
to get
hidden.
to the
Okay.
current date, but
Yes, it's
Christmas
celebrated there, but history.
is where the pagans and the Christians can get together and party.
The word Christmas was not used until the 11th century. It was not particularly important until the 19th century in England.
Okay. It'd just be like a mass at the church one night, no big deal.
Yeah, just the Christ Mass.
Or church service.
Right.
And they would burn a Yule log in the fireplace.
Heathens.
It says here that was the tradition for centuries, is to burn a Yule log in the fireplace at Christmas. And in the 19th century, it was common to light a large Yule candle.
Well, we will burn the Yule log that night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Sullivan will know that I don't. That Medina does not. Well, Medina doesn't drink alcohol, and is not. And what tells people not to allow him, if they see him with alcohol in his hand, to get it out of his hand.
People would decorate their houses with holly, ivy, and mistletoe. So that was from centuries before the 19th century. So yeah, that might happen too. But yeah. First Christmas tree in England didn't appear until the early 19th century. So nope, there's no Christmas trees or any of that shit.
Well, whatever we do, I fully participate in
the
traditions.
Yeah, the Christ Mass for sure. I think would probably be a big thing that you do. But
I'm gonna do the Yule log as well.
Cool, no problem. So yeah, it's Monday, the 4th of April.
Right.
It is
Easter now.
exactly 344 years before my birth. It's my birthday. I'm negative 344 years old today.
So close, yet so far.
You were a gleam and a gleam and a gleam.
Not
and
even.
A gleam and a gleam for 300 years.
So.
All right.
I want to do in that. Okay, so I think that the alcohol is going to go on the right hand there, against the outside wall, if you see on the map.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd like to take the other part of it, what we don't use for, vegetables or whatever, we're going to store else down there, and put some targets up to throw knives at, maybe a dummy to practice with a sword.
Well, where are you guys keeping all of your gold?
I have offered to hide that in my lab for when. I haven't said anything to. Well, I'll tell Antonio. I don't say anything to Sullivan because so far I don't want to let him know that there's a lab and a library down there for arcane curiosities. But Medina knows that I do that stuff. So Cole and Klaus and Medina and me, There's
Okay.
all that lab space that I don't need at the moment because I need to
Okay.
slowly start building that
So
up.
you just got a pile of gold on the floor, like a.
No, I have a chest.
You have a chest.
Yep, and everybody can put their gold in like
you
a
buy
separate
one?
sack. I had it from before.
Cool. Do you have a lock?
But yes, and I can wizard lock it if need be.
Cool. Just
Oh
checking.
yeah, it's locked. It's got a lock.
Just checking. I'm
It is
sitting
a
here
proper chest.
greedily holding my equipment. Let's like, okay, what else can I charge you for?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, no
Yep.
problem. Good stuff. So then, so what do you want to do?
Do we want to do this mission?
I think we do.
It's up to you.
Do y'all have horses and stuff? Or we're gonna take a boat?
Yes, we could take a boat from Boston and go around because it'd be quicker.
Go around to where?
It wouldn't be exactly at Dover because of the cliffs of Dover, so there'd probably be somewhere to the side.
Was there where that at here?
I'm pretty sure Chichester, but I don't know how far. That's not too far away, I don't think. I know that
There's
would
probably
have a dock.
villages and towns than on this map.
So you said it was near Canterbury, right?
Yeah, Canterbury.
South of Canterbury, yeah.
No, I don't think
Dover, and there's Canterbury. Canterbury's off a river. Looks
Yeah.
like. Is there a?
There's no-
Ramsgate? When
You
did
could actually
Ramsgate
go
start?
to. We can go around to Rochester and then cross to Canterbury, or
Yeah, because Medina wanted to check out Canterbury anyway, just to have a
right?
look around.
Because we have to go. It's he said it's southwest of Canterbury, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
Yeah,
So
there's-
then, if we go to Rochester, then it's a straighter shot to Canterbury.
Yeah,
There'll
there's
definitely
no.
be a place with a dock along that way, surely, especially background.
So is this a what's the city that we're supposed to be going to?
Heading to near Dover.
Stanford,
Stanford, right?
near Dover. The church is St. Thomas's.
Right.
Do we know anything other than what the priest guy told us about it? I mean,
Just that it's a very old church.
we mentioned the name. Did anybody around town? Do they, the town of Stanford? Do they mention anything? Master, if we did that over the course, because it's
There
been a
is
while since you mentioned it.
there is a port in Dover. Sorry, I'm looking something up here. Because during the Richard the Lionheart departed from the port of Dover on the Third Crusade, and in 1422 Henry V was brought back through Dover after his death in France. So yeah, there is a port in Dover.
Oh no, yeah, no, there would be.
Yeah.
Because the white cliffs are to the side, so yeah, there definitely. Yeah, I can see it on a map. I'm looking of Dover right now. There's a giant. Yep.
Oh, I know there's a massive port there now. I just didn't know if it would have been there in the 17th century. So there you go. Anyway,
All right.
apologies. You were asking me a question, Rob. I think.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was during this time since we've heard the story. It's been several
6 months. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm asking people around town or travelers through, just casually about Stanford, that city we're supposed to go to do this. Any legends, any information that they can?
Nobody's ever heard of it. Oh, one guy that you talked to after Christmas, sometime in January, probably, recognizes his name. Says, yeah, it's like it's a backwater. It's not too far from Canterbury, or or Dover, but there's nothing in Stanford.
Okay.
Basically, just a church, some villagers, a village, but mostly like a little bit. It's bigger than Nonsbeck. Don't get me wrong, but nothing particularly special.
It's on the coast, right?
No.
No, it's inland. Okay, we have to travel inland if we go by boat then.
Yeah, well, we'd be close if we go in to Dover. We'd be close. It wouldn't take too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's apparently a lot faster to go by boat than to ride all the way down there.
Well, theoretically, it'd be quicker.
Pardon me. Okay. Now get the fuck out of here.
Well, you'd think it'd be quicker. Because you're literally just going out and then around.
Well, it only took us like 4 days to get from.
Yeah, okay, so Stanford, walking from Dover, is about 14 miles. A little over.
Oh yeah, that's not
Maybe
far. That's
15
a day's
miles,
travel.
depending on which road you take. So it's less than a day. Yeah, a little over half a day's travel.
Even at my slow pace.
Well, yeah, actually, with your slow pace, you move at half speed. Is that right?
No, I move at. I can
Oh
go
no, you're not half
18
speed.
miles a day.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, so
So
you're like
just about a day's travel.
3/4 speed.
Yeah, I got
During this time, like the time we've been having downtime,
Mhm.
for all it's being built, maybe started getting acquainted with the stable people and start looking for some good horse flesh that we can get, for riding.
Stable people would be the stable boy.
No, that's it.
His name is Randall. Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's got
Well, if not the stable, then how about the blacksmith?
He's got a crush on Gail. So does the blacksmith's assistant, Tall Frederick.
He does too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they
That's
both.
a shame.
She gets around, don't she?
Well, they have crush on her doesn't mean it's reciprocated.
Mm.
I am looking at the wrong book. No wonder I'm not finding what I'm looking for. Yeah, Tall Frederick is the blacksmith's assistant. So where is he here? Yeah, they call him Tall Frederick because there are several Fredericks in the area. Farmers' sons and farmers and such. But he's the taller one, so they call him Tall Frederick. He's a stroppy teenager. Works as an apprentice, basically to escape his life, his future as a poor farmer. He's been working there for 3 years now with Albert the Smith. He mostly works the bellows. And yeah, then there's Albert the Smith. He's medium height, burly and strong. Of course, messy blonde hair, tattoo on his right arm of a shark-toothed mermaid sitting on a treasure chest.
Do they have horses themselves out there for sale or
no? You want to try to get horses from the actual stables?
I was going to ask some people like do farm work. You think somebody will sell us like some horses cheaper?
I don't know about cheaper. No, they probably use all their horses for farm work. There's no tractors. Horses. You'd need to get those through the stable probably. So let's see here. He has one horse available.
How does it look compared to horses I've used in the past?
It's okay. Yeah, it's a riding horse. It's nothing special.
Look at its teeth. See how its teeth look like.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. How much are they asking for it?
Yeah. So for the riding horse here, that'd be 100 silver pieces.
100 silver pieces. Okay. And what do you charge for stabling the horse per month?
Oh, stabling the horse per month. including feed and brushing and all of that, and horseshoeing as necessary. Let's see here. Let's call it. We'll call 1 silver piece. Oh, that's a day, isn't it? Though. Hold on. No, it wouldn't be a silver piece day. Yeah, for a month, 15 silver piece a month.
Yeah, I'm just talking to him about it. I'm not going to purchase right now.
Okay.
So I kind of see what we're going to get.
Do you want to wait until the next month?
Possibly. I'm just trying to go home and talk to it with everybody else because I don't think anybody has any horses, do they? Except maybe Klaus. You have
I do.
horses?
I do.
You do. Okay.
I do.
We came to town with horses and a
And
wagon.
a wagon.
So
Oh,
where
you did?
are
Yeah,
horses?
didn't you? So
Right.
Okay.
I forgot about that. How many horses do you have?
We each had a horse, but I didn't know.
We had.
Do you have this written down somewhere? I don't have it in my notes.
We had 3 horses, 4 horses,
4 horses
because
because Medina came with his own. Oh, you had 4 horses because you had an extra. Yeah, you had
Wait,
4 horses to pull the wagon. That's right.
right.
Yeah, so you had 4 horses, and Medina brought a
No.
horse as well.
I
We
have
could
a
have
horse.
sold some of those horses off, or a couple of them. I probably would have sold the wagon off because it's not something we really need at the moment.
I'll buy a horse if you're selling. Yeah, I don't know, these notes say you had 7 horses at one point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are long gone. Those were left behind in Amsterdam. Had more than that too. It had a war horse as well, which is still back there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have 4 horses or not?
Do we still have all
Sell
those
the wagon
horses?
or not? If you have them, you got to pay for maintenance for the last
Right.
6 months.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I want to have a horse. So,
And
was
that
it a
would
decent
probably-
horse that we had?
Yeah, I mean they were good riding horses.
Okay. Yeah, I'll pay for the stabling and kept that horse definitely.
Okay, so that would
And
be an
definitely
additional
don't-
90 silver pieces for you, Cole, to pay for that for the 6 months.
Definitely didn't want to keep the wagon because we really had no use for it at the time.
What about me for my horse? Like upkeep and all that jazz.
90 silver pieces for the last 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably would have kept one too. So
Yeah, and I would have kept mine. Oop, sorry.
Okay, so 90 silver pieces for the last 6 months.
What would you have done with the spare horse?
Sold it.
Well, Sullivan Jack was in the mood to buy it, so you sold it probably to Randall, the stable boy.
Right.
So you get 50 silver pieces for it.
Excellent.
You buy it, Sullivan Jack, for 100 silver pieces.
Oh, now, sir, I'm a servant of the Lord. Maybe you could bring that price down a little bit. I'm a man of meager means.
Sorry, sir, I don't set the prices. My father does, and he'll beat me if I don't get 100 silver pieces for this horse.
Well, can I give you half now and half later?
How much later?
When I return from this mission, I should come back with some money. If not, I'm sure we can work something
This was
out.
6 months ago, by the way.
Right.
You know me, I'm the miracle worker in town. One day you're going to get kicked by one of
Okay.
the horses. You're going to need my help.
Okay. Yeah, he'll take the 50 silver for it.
All right.
And then when you see him the next day, he's missing a couple of extra teeth, and he's got a big bruise on his face.
I'll heal that for him.
Okay, you can
I
heal the
don't know if
bruise. The teeth
can't do
don't
it.
grow back, but he's already missing several teeth anyway. But
Listen, boy, for the favor, if you need anything, you know where to find me.
I need that
Oh.
50. I need that 50 silver as soon as possible. My father, he's gonna beat me again.
Tell him not to beat you. I will talk to your father if I need to.
I can always lend Sullivan the 50 to give.
Oh, okay, that would work if it spares this boy a beating. Do you mind?
Yes. Yes,
Oh,
sir. Yes, here you go.
All right,
I
there you
will
go.
hand you
Mark it
over.
off. So horses and
What was that?
stables are 15 silver pieces per month.
All right.
Food and supplies, generally speaking, again, we're looking at 50 silver pieces per month per person.
So maybe not so much as strolling around town every now and then. I would have taken the horse out and rode, and exercised it, and all that instead.
Maybe we should think
Same. I am being weird.
building a stable onto the house.
I was thinking of that. I've been thinking of that like a lot of the time.
Think about building a stable under the house?
On
Like in the-
Under.
Oh, like what?
Yeah, you have a name for the house, like Windsor House or something like that. Hobbs
Yeah.
House.
Hobbs house.
Hobbs' house.
No, don't.
No.
House
No,
Hobbs.
No, don't give him the satisfaction.
You can call it a manor, but we have to think of a name in front of the manor.
Hobbs Manor. No, not Hobbs.
No Hobbs.
I thought that was a good friend of yours if you wanted to remember.
No. Medina does not want to remember Hobbs.
Oh.
And Africa in the desert where you carried him across the.
I think about him quite a lot. I think about all the spells in his book that I never got to copy.
I did not. I did not carry him across Africa. I didn't even know the bastard.
Anyway. So you got horses. You got saddlebags. You don't have to have sold the wagon. You kept the wagon. You could have just kept it parked in the grass somewhere.
Yeah, parked next to the home.
Yeah.
Okay.
So are we taking our horses on a boat to Dover or?
Gosh, no, I don't think so.
No, you could just take horses instead if you want, and forget about taking a boat. So from, let's say, Boston, for example, UK to Stanford. Okay. On foot, we're looking at around 166, about 166 miles. Oh, wait. Hold on. That requires a ferry? No, this way. No ferry. 171 miles. So at like horse traveling speed,
24 miles a day.
I think that's on foot, 24 miles a day. I would,
Yeah, encumbered man.
yeah, I would say on horseback you could probably cover twice that. That seem fair?
It'd take us like half a week.
Let me just double check this. You'd cover it in. Well, yeah, it would take you about 4 days or something like that. Is that covered in here about travel time? Not necessarily. Anyway.
Yeah, an unencumbered mount can do 48 miles a day.
All right.
Or 36 if they're weighed down or something.
Before we head out, for those folks who are going to be partaking of the bank of the laboratory, I suggest you separate that on your character sheets for what you're keeping at home and what you're going to have on you.
Yes, I will do that.
Did I have to pay stable fees also?
Yes.
Oh. I don't have the money.
No, because you will now once you move in with the party. But
Okay.
You didn't have to pay it for the 6 months because you could have kept your horse at the family farm that you were staying at. They got room for another animal. Yeah, no problem.
Cool.
Make sense?
Yep. Sounds good.
So 171 miles, about. You are looking at 3.5 days. A little over 3.5 days to get there.
Excellent.
May God bless our journey.
Sure. I mean, hail. Amen. And all that.
You don't have to do that for my breath.
I'm just saying it under my breath.
Let's do this. Come on. However, I will be on the lookout.
Wow, you're blessed with really good weather the entire way.
See,
Having one of the best, like late summer. Oh no, this is April now. So yeah, it's springtime anyway. It's been great.
What a relief after the horrible trek across the Holy Roman Empire we suffered through.
Oh geez, yeah, that was a long time ago now.
Even still, now I will never forget that journey.
During this whole journey down, I will be looking over my shoulder the entire time and looking left and right.
Paranoid?
Yes, very paranoid.
He's worried.
Uh,
He's worried the Hobbs might come back.
I've got my hood up and everything.
this Hobbs man, you don't seem to like him, but you never stop talking about him.
He leaves an impression.
He was a peculiar little man.
He was a nasty little man that did things that was foul to people.
Don't know all that though.
I know what he did. I was with him out one night.
She didn't see him kill the guard. He was just
No.
an eccentric weirdo.
He was a foul person to people.
Punched in the head.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So the 3.5 days pass. So you left on the 4th. So you'll arrive kind of somewhere around midday, a little after midday on the 8th. That's Friday. Just looking to see if there's anything here for me to tell you. Description wise. Yeah, it's a very small village, mostly like outlying houses, farms and stuff. The most prominent building is, of course, the church. What can I tell you about the actual church itself? Hold on. So yeah, the probably the most striking feature about the church that you would notice right away is that there are no windows. From the outside, there are signs of where windows used to be, but they have been blocked up long ago.
With wood or with concrete? I mean, with stone or.
With stone.
Very peculiar.
Doors are reinforced heavy wood.
Locks on the outside or locks or no that we can see from the outside? In other words, does it look like they're locking something
Does
in?
not look like it's locked. No, you don't see anything like that.
Are there people around in this village?
Yeah, there definitely be people around the village. The village itself, like I said, is pretty small. There isn't even there'd be a public house, but
Should we just go to the church and
doesn't have rooms. It's not like an inn. There's like a little market area, probably a smith.
This guy Gernot said this thing was under the church. Is that what he said?
What
He
said,
did indeed. Yeah.
Yes, he did.
I assume it's something. If the people that run the church know it's there, they probably don't want to give it up.
Well, I wouldn't want to give up any of my treasures either. Definitely. So we need to find a way to get to it.
Well, maybe me or Klaus could go in, as a visiting priest and just have a look around. Or announce ourselves that we're in town or something like that.
Not a bad idea. Maybe one of us can go in and talk to whoever's in charge while the other one peeks around.
Yeah.
Is this place not Catholic though? Will that be an issue?
You got a priest of both flavors, so you're good.
Hmm.
For all they know, we're just men of God, so it doesn't matter.
Could always
If you
do a
say
bit
so.
of. We could always do a bit of snooping around. I'm pretty handy with various things.
Well, maybe we'll go in and talk to the priest in the daytime, and then if we need to sneak in later, that'll be an option. We'll at least get a stake out the inside.
Oops. Jesus, sorry about that.
Yes. I am. We can do this.
Is the church locked up, or are the
Doesn't look
doors?
to be. No, you got reinforced wooden doors. There's 3 of them. So it's got kind of a. You know what? I didn't save a map at all or anything, did I? I'm trying to get an image up for you now. Okay. So if I do that and do something like this, yeah, that gives you a view of kind of what the church looks like from outside. Ignore the ominous black clouds. It's a nice day.
Oh no! It suddenly got dark.
But that gives you an idea. So see what I mean? But there's 3 doors on the front.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The windows are blocked up with stone.
That's quite an old design. That's a very old design.
Well, he
Very,
said
very, very, very.
it was old.
So he said that if it was abandoned, or
No, it's not abandoned at all. This is the local church.
The doors, are they locked, or can anyone enter?
Are you gonna walk up and try to open one?
Yeah.
Well, I would have as well.
No, they're not locked at all.
Okay. Well, let's go in here and see what we can do.
So the okay, so you would notice that the doors do have heavy, complicated locks on them, but they're not locked.
Hmm.
The
Are those
entrance.
complicated locks on the inside or the outside?
Well, they're just both. It's a key like situation, you know.
I will
Gotcha.
whisper to Antonio. I don't like that the windows are practically non-existent anymore.
Hmm.
It's very
Well,
weird.
indeed.
And the doors seem to open, so people must use the church. What is this?
This is a good question.
Maybe something peculiar is at hand.
Well, if they have such treasures as the deacon is talking about, I'm not surprised, but I am surprised by the fact
Here's what I'm
because
looking for.
the Catholic Church I'm familiar with, they love letting the light in.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I would suggest keeping your abilities on the ready. I don't.
They always are.
I want to take a deep breath with my nose to smell. What does it smell like in there?
Just smells like an old church. Probably smell like incense or whatever they'd burn, you know.
So it's not like musty that nobody uses it. It smells.
Oh no,
Or
it's definitely used. So
Okay.
the entrance area. I'm just trying to pull it up on my thing here. Hold on, where's my map? Boom. Now let's change my zoom level here so I can actually see this again. There we go. Oh fuck! God damn it! Zoom in more. I hate when they do it that way. Okay. Here's my map of the church. Can I zoom a little more? That's sufficient. Now, if I do this again, window capture. Okay, and we'll again. God damn it! I wish it would make it invisible. Why does it make it visible every time? Okay, there. Now, go back to window capture. I need to put the window in there. So I'm just going to pull this right off of the Acrobat Reader. Okay. I'll move it over here, say. Yeah, that's just about perfect. Oh, well, I'll get rid of this text. Oh, fuck. Will you fuck off? Yeah. There you go. I can even pull this up to say here. Yeah. There you are. Now, I can move it, say, like this. Just to make it visible for you. There you go. Now you can kind of see. So you're in C01. That's the entrance area when you first come in. Pardon me. Once you get in there, you can see C02. You've got the fonts on each side, the holy water fonts. And what's this here? Does this say? Yeah, the passageway kind of there leading from the entrance to the area where the fonts are. You see on the right and left side there are like ladders there, which you would imagine lead up to the bell tower in that little passageway. And then you would come into the main nave, right, which is C03 there on the map, which you can see. And again, let me just, yeah, that's a little better. Just trying to tidy that up a bit, make it more, there we go. So in the nave itself, it's pretty unremarkable, mostly just filled with pews. But on the walls, there are hanging lanterns, only one of which is currently lit. You will see a man approaching you from the kind of from the back towards the altar. He is. We have a physical description of him. He has a smile on his face anyway. He looks to be kind of a middle-aged man, pretty well groomed, wearing a nice, clean, priest's garments, vestments. That's the word I was looking for. Kind of like a robe with the. I can't think of what the thing's called. I guess it's called vestments that go over the robe, right? He's walking towards you anyway from kind of in that little passageway or walkway, whatever, between the pews. What else would you see here from the nave? As he approaches, you would also notice that there are paintings that hang on the walls at the end of each side aisle, but they're unlit. It's kind of hard to make them out from where you are at the moment. But yes, the gentleman walks forward and says, "Hello, welcome to St. Thomas Church. I am Father Bacon."
Hello, sir. I am Prester Jack. This is my friend, Father Klaus.
Hello,
Oh,
Father.
We are visiting clergy.
I see. Where are you visiting from?
From Boston to the north.
I see. I trust everything is in order.
Yes, we just thought we'd come in and announce ourselves, let you know that we're in town, get a look at the place. I don't know. What do we want to tell him anything, or do y'all have questions? I don't know what to say to this dude. We went under your church.
I guess we're just trying to get a look at the place where maybe we might be staying here for a while.
From like every church.
He would definitely be looking. Obviously, Klaus is definitely not dressed like a an Anglican priest, I presume. And
either.
yeah, he would also be looking at Cole and Antonio and Medina. I imagine you guys all have your weapons and your armor and stuff. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
many people
Oh, yeah.
are in this place? Like a lot of
Just
people.
him at the moment in the church.
Yeah, we've been traveling. The roads are dangerous. I pull my cross out so you can see that.
Okay.
I take my hat off, definitely, as I enter the church.
Oh, I was.
I would take my head too.
You know how these churches have they usually all have something special about them, like I don't know, their paintings or their relics or something. So maybe we just want to see what relics your church has and pray at them.
Oh, of course, yes. I can. I'll show you here. Here, we'll start here. He starts at E on the map there. On the east wall. That is interesting. Okay. Is that east wall? It's not though. That's really more the north wall, but whatever. It's a very simple painting. He says we believe it was done by a child. It's an empty crucifix standing in a field of flowers. The sun is deep red. And Father Bacon says, we had the empty wall space and Timmy wants to be an artist, so we let him paint this. Please don't damage any of the other paintings. If we have to take one down, he'll want to paint its replacement as well. He kind of smiles.
Okay.
So before Klaus will follow him to E, would there be any chance you see where between CO2 and CO1 there's like the two little spaces
Yeah,
in the
those are the
bottom?
ladders that lead up to the bell tower.
I would grab Medea and pull him aside and grab his hands, and I would bless him, and I would be like, I hear you're good at finding things.
Oh yes, I am very good at many things.
Yeah, I'll keep the father distracted while they do all that.
You got 9 points.
Of the church.
I would just like wink, wink, and suggest see if you find anything out of order.
Okay, yeah, I will climb wherever you want me to go. I'll do a climb.
So he
Oh.
takes you over to painting D. Who's still with him? I guess that would be Sullivan, Antonio, and Cole. This painting depicts Atlas carrying the world on his shoulders with Jesus shining before him. And Father Bacon says, this shows the difference between the ancient pagan past and the current enlightened era of Christ. Both of the figures shown carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, but where Atlas bears the burden heavily, where Atlas bears the burden heavily, Christ makes the sacrifice with great grace.
I like that one. Amen.
Do you rejoin them then, Klaus?
Yeah, I would, but I think at first he would kind of like go down the middle where C3 is and kind of like bow for a second, like he's paying his respect to the church. And they join them.
Just to clarify, where did you want me to climb?
No, I just wanted you to look around, see if you saw anything out of order.
Okay, do a bit of sneaking.
Where are you going to then, Medina?
Well, somewhere where they're not. Somewhere that looks a bit.
Like it's pretty dark in most of the church. There's only one light on in here, really, kind of up by the altar for the most part.
Somewhere that seems a bit out of boundsy. Maybe somewhere that I have to. Somewhere that looks peculiar, out of place, maybe. Well, search for somewhere out of place.
You want to go up one of these ladders up to the bell tower or something, or?
Yeah.
I'm
looking for anything strange.
Actually, is there anything here about the bell tower? I think it's just a bell tower. Yep.
Okay.
The bell still is in working order. It's not dusty or anything. Looks like it's used regularly.
Well, there's nothing up here.
So
okay,
Father Bacon will take you over to the painting at wall section C there. This painting depicts a graveyard with the signature reading Luke 12:15. He says, well, this one is really quite self-explanatory, isn't it?
Yes, the dead in Christ rising up from their graves.
Luke 12:15.
I don't have my Let me dig out my Bible.
Luke 12:15, and he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. And then he takes you over to the painting at section B. Where are you now, Klaus? Have you gone back to join them yet, or?
Yeah, I joined them.
Okay. Oh yeah, Medina, give me a sneak roll, a stealth roll, please.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one. So
Okay,
that's
yeah.
pass.
He hasn't even noticed that you're wandered off. So painting B depicts a blue sky with a few clouds and a blazing sun, as well as a constellation of stars. Father Bacon says this painting shows that the light of God shines brighter than the sun itself.
Yes. Amen.
And painting A is a recreation of Da Vinci's Last Supper. It is perfect in every detail except that nobody is wearing any clothes. Father Bacon says, I think this represents the purity of our Lord and the apostles. An interesting interpretation, to say the least.
Yes.
And where are you going now, Medina?
I will try to locate possibly where you could get underground. So maybe check some of these like rooms that look like rooms.
Are you going to go try one of the rooms? Which room?
Yeah, one where they're not near.
So probably CO7.
Yeah, because I'm just looking. I just want to see if I can find like a way out, a way down. I know sometimes on these old churches they tend to have a way into the basement on the outside in form of a grate, but
The
I
door
don't
does
know.
not have a lock.
Okay, I'll just walk in.
Okay. So you open a
Sneakily.
door and there's 3 children in there. They turn. Who are you?
I am
And
here to
the
lead.
Father Bacon turns and says, please, sir, please leave the children alone. And he starts walking towards you.
Sorry, I did not know. I do apologize. I did not expect anyone.
What are
I
you
did
doing
not expect
wandering
to see anyone.
around on your own? Come on, stay with
I
the
got
group.
I got a bit lost. I get a bit out of it sometimes when I'm in a new area. Yes.
Don't mind him. He's just curious.
Well, I'd appreciate it if we all stuck together. The church is not, open for mass or anything at the moment. You are visitors here. I'd appreciate at least a little common courtesy.
Of course, of course.
I definitely will try to sneak away.
C05. There's 2 confession booths.
Okay.
Nothing, unusual or anything about them. He leads you right over to the next painting, which is F.
I will try to sneak away.
Okay. What is your stealth?
My stealth is free.
Okay, you're going to have a -2 because he's Hawkeyeing you. Okay. So your stealth is 1. Please roll.
Come on. Baby, 1. 1
You
again.
managed to slip off.
Baby.
As he says, as he brings you to a painting, there's merely a large black field with a very small white dot slightly off center. And he says, I have no idea what this is supposed to mean, but it's harmless enough, I suppose, and a conversation piece of the church. What do you think it means? He says, looking at Sullivan.
Perhaps it's the spark. One spark of light is all it takes to pierce the darkness. The light of Christ, of course.
I like that.
Can you describe it again?
A mere large black field with a very small white dot slightly off center.
Large black field with a white dot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like a black. The painting's all black with just one white dot slightly off center.
Even the smallest flicker can pierce the darkness.
We say that's the light of the church in the darkness of the world.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I get it.
I think you're correct. I feel the same way, he says. And he leads you over to painting G.
I was about to say it looks like the light at the end of a tunnel to me.
He doesn't know what you mean. um, Painting G depicts a siege during the First Crusade, and the signature reads Numbers 32:27. He says another self-explanatory piece. Let's see, Numbers 32:27. I said.
Mhm.
What is Numbers 32:27? But thy servants will pass over every man armed for war before the Lord to battle, as my Lord saith.
Yes.
Where do you go to while you're wandering off, skulking about there?
So where CO1 is, there seems to be like doors, or what look like doors.
That's where we came in.
Is that where we?
CO1 is where you came in.
No, at the other side, the opposite side. Is it
Oh.
CO1? I can't. CO4 is it? Yeah,
Yeah, that's
CO4.
C4.
It looked like a one. It looked like another one.
That is C4. C4 is an explosive. Roll a saving throw versus
Oh, no.
breath. No, I'm kidding. C4 is the sanctuary.
Yeah, there seems, is there two doors?
Now hold on. There's a railing in front of the altar that separates the congregation from the stairs leading up to the crucifix. The figure on the crucifix hanging from the ceiling is an especially pained and contorted looking version of Christ, a truly hideous visage to remind all who see it of the great sacrifice Christ made. You can't help Medina but feel like it's watching you.
Oh no. Oh god, that's gonna be terrible for me because I already feel like I'm being watched. Oh no.
There are long black curtains hanging from the ceiling covering the walls here, so you don't actually see the doors behind them.
Okay. Well, I would search this area, so I might even check the curtains. So I'll check the curtains, see if I can find anything peculiar in this area.
Yeah, there's doors behind them.
Okay. Well,
On
I'll
the wall.
try one of the doors.
Let me see.
I've just got to hope they keep him occupied. Like.
The doors. Just looking to see if the doors happen to be locked or anything.
Oh, this is where they might keep the wine and stuff in the back here, usually.
Yep, they're not locked. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So he takes you guys back over to the next painting, which I think would be H, right?
Yeah.
This canvas is mostly bare except for a few splatters of red paint that could, come to think of it, possibly be blood. He says, this shows how empty and meaningless the world was before Christ and how his sacrifice changed everything. And now it is impossible to look at the world without acknowledging his presence.
Amen. I like that.
Medina, you can give me a stealth roll. No negatives this time. Just a normal stealth roll.
3 on 3.
Okay, you managed to open the door, and it's pitch black. You can't really see.
Okay. Do I have any?
In fact, you can't see even the door hardly now, with the curtain closed behind you, and the light getting further away in the nave.
I have candles, so I would
light a candle.
Light a candle. Oh god, this is gonna be terrible, isn't it?
Okay. So you light the candle and move into the room.
Yep. Here I do.
Let me see here.
Oh no.
Oops, crap. Sorry.
We're looking at any mirrors.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Wait, this is how I can do it. So
Why do I feel like something bad's about to happen?
Oh,
Oh no.
maybe it will.
Oh no. Oh no. Why is there a giant hole here?
So
Don't
Oh.
fall into the privy.
God.
Ugh.
Oh no.
yeah, flashback, Merrick.
Yeah.
Why didn't I check the opposite? Why didn't I go to the opposite side? Why didn't I go to...
What was in the opposite side? Just the entrance.
No, I mean,
Oh,
I
the
went
other
into where
room,
the keys are.
C6.
Why didn't I go
Right.
to C6?
Yeah, well,
Why did I have
but
to
you're
be
in C8 now. So now that you're looking around with the candle, there is a 10-foot diameter pit in the center of the room. You can't see the bottom of it with your candle. In the corner, which you can see there, the kind of southwest corner of the room, there is a large gong and mallet.
Yeah.
And it looks like there
Oh.
is an opening. Yeah, there's an opening then at the back, which I might as well just, I don't think, yeah, there's nothing really to spoil here, so I'll just show you the rest of the map. There you go.
Well,
If you want to check out the connecting room.
before I do, I want to light another candle and drop it down the pit.
Oh, okay, kind of lighting it as it goes.
I just want to see how far it goes down, almost.
About 20 feet.
Okay.
And then it hits, and you briefly see what looks like some kind of green residue on the floor, and then the candle goes out.
Okay, well, this is one way down to the underneath this place. I better keep looking.
Now,
Well,
back
go.
here, he has led you now to the last paintings, letter I. So on this hangs an incredible painting depicting the Earth, Moon, Sun, and stars coalescing from a radiant nebula. The signature reads Genesis 1:1. And Father Bacon says, does this not demonstrate the power and splendor of God?
indeed. I like this one as well. This is a very beautiful church you have here. I noticed that the windows were boarded up. Is this paintings hanging where the windows would have been?
Yes, there would have been windows here, indeed.
It's very interesting and beautiful church you have here, Father Bacon, was it?
Yes. Father
Well,
Bacon, that's correct.
I will. I'd like to say some prayers before I leave, if that's fine.
Very well. He'll kind of walk with you over towards the altar, and you'll see that crucifix. And again, you also you feel like it's watching you.
A crucifix?
Yeah, the massive crucifix that's hanging up there above the altar. Excuse me.
Okay, I will
Hanging from the
pray
ceiling, especially pained and
quietly to
contorted.
myself.
And let me give him another chance to notice. Okay, nope, he still hasn't noticed again somehow that you're missing a person again.
I swear, how the fuck am I gonna get out?
I thought
Well,
Catholic churches had the actual Christ hanging on there.
well, no, Christ is on the crucifix. That's what the crucifix is. It's the
Yeah.
crucifix with Christ hanging on it. Like I said before, the figure hanging is especially pained and contorted, a truly hideous visage to remind all who see it of the great sacrifice that Christ made for them. But that said, this church, for all intents and purposes, as far as you can tell, seems to be Anglican, as is
Okay.
Father Bacon. So did you want to look into the other connecting room there then, Adina?
Yes.
Yeah. So in that room, there's a great painting hanging on the west wall depicting Augustine's conversion of King Ethelbert. You are not a cleric, so that does not obtain to you. Oh no, you have a 1 in 6. So roll. Sorry. Actually, roll. Yeah, roll a d6.
2.
No, you don't necessarily know what it is. It's just, you know, you don't recognize Augustine or King Ethelbert. It's just a king and um, a priest or something, a man.
Okay.
The painting itself is 20 feet long, 8 feet tall, and beautifully framed.
Is there anything else in here?
That's it.
Okay.
No, there's doors.
Yeah.
Door on the south and door on the north.
I don't know whether to keep searching or just report back to the others. 'Cause the longer I'm in here, the more likely I am to be caught. No, fuck it. I'm gonna check C12.
C12.
Yeah.
Door opens. There are dozens of crates stacked in the room.
Can I search for crates?
You want to open one? Give me a stealth roll.
Nope, didn't pass it that time.
Okay, it opens with a creaking sound and a popping sound as one of the nails pops loose. Let's see. Oh, and Father Bacon says, "What's that? Where did that man go?
What?
Is he
Father,
sneaking around back there?"
Oh,
And he starts going back towards the curtains.
I forgot I had
I'm
bless. I
but
forgot I had bless points.
Bummer. The crate
Oh.
is full of Bibles.
Okay, I'm gonna try hide. Somewhere behind a crate. I don't know.
Okay, no problem. So Father Bacon goes back. Actually, he shouts out, "Boys, boys!" And the 3 children come out from C7. He says, "Go, get some of the villagers and bring them back here. We have our guests are
wait a minute, Father Bacon. Is there a
abusing our
problem?
hospitality."
What do you mean? What's wrong?
And the boys all rush towards the front of the church.
I'm trying. What's going on?
"Where is your man?" And he goes back.
Oh, the curious one. Please don't think anything ill of him. He's just a curious lad.
"Wait here."
Yes, sir. Shit. I look at the other guys.
Shit.
I follow Bacon back there.
He stops by the curtain. He turns and sees you. Says, "Very well, we'll wait for some of the villagers to arrive."
I can handle him. I'll get him out.
"No, that won't be necessary. Please,
Oh,
have a seat."
fuck.
And he gestures towards the pews.
Surely it can't be that bad. He's just snooping around. I
"If you
assure you,
prefer, you may leave."
I will leave, but let me take him with me. I brought him in here. If he's stolen anything, we'll return it. I apologize for any misunderstandings or inconvenience.
"We'll find out when the villagers arrive."
What will the villagers determine here, sir?
"Well, frankly, I am outnumbered here, and I don't like my odds should you try to overpower me."
We are men of God. We do not wish any harm here. I think you misunderstood the situation, sir.
"Then explain to me why your friend is snooping around in the back of my church."
I told you, he's very curious. It's hard, we will handle him. I will discipline him. I'll make sure he confesses later this evening. Please, the rest of us are good, honest men. There's no need for all this. Just let me go back there with you. I will collect our man and we'll leave.
You hear the church bell ringing up above.
Damn it.
Shit. Fuck.
If possible, I'm gonna go by Antonio and I'm gonna whisper in his ear. If anything happens, if you can still make people invisible, you might want to do that for yourself on call or something.
Oh, fuck.
That is a possibility.
I will go in. I will actually try it. Because I wouldn't
You're
know
hiding,
to
I
hide.
think, aren't you?
I wouldn't. Yeah, but I wouldn't know to hide because I just made a noise. I wouldn't know if he heard it or not. So I'd just.
You probably hear the raised voices shouting,
Okay.
and you heard the church bell ring. It's not time for service. It's not even Sunday, so.
I don't.
Father Bacon, you're blowing this out of proportion.
And in less than a minute, let me see how many villagers arrive. Where's the thing here? Oh, sorry, I'm just looking for it. Ah, see below. Right.
I don't want to fight anyone.
Here we go, villagers. Come on, it's got to say how many of them arrive.
Damn rogue.
Shit.
Ah, this many. Okay.
If I'd remembered I had the blast
Yeah,
one.
15 villagers come walking in.
Jeez.
And then the three boys, of course, then join them from the church tower and come down.
I'm gonna stay close to Father Bacon, but maintain my cool. But I'm staying close to him in case.
They are armed with agricultural implements, you know, shovel, hoe,
Necessary.
you know, etc. Flail, probably. Say, you called, Reverend? He says, yes. He says, I believe one of their number is lurking around in the back. Why don't a few of you boys go back there and get him and bring him back up here? Keep an eye on the rest. We'll see if
Please do not hurt him.
he's stolen anything.
Please do not hurt him.
As long as he doesn't put up a fight, they won't harm him.
I will commit to hiding. I'll just stay hidden. That's what I'll do. I'll commit to hiding for now.
Okay. Where are you hiding? Still in C12?
Yeah, because I don't know what's in anywhere else. So
Okay, so you're
hiding in
hidden
the
back
crate.
behind some crates.
Yeah.
You can't get in the crates; they're full of Bibles.
Yeah, it's the best option. If I had time, I could have moved
Okay.
the Bibles, but I don't have time.
So they light a torch and go walking back. Let's see how many of them go back there.
15 guys. Yeah, how many guys go?
Five of them go back. 10 stay out with you. It takes them. Yeah, okay. It takes them like less than 5 minutes before they find you hiding in there because you don't, you're behind some crates. So all they have to do is open the door, look around, and they're gonna find you.
Should have gone into 13 just to see what was in there.
You, what are you doing back here? Five men with farming implements and a torch. One guy has a torch.
Here to inspect the Bibles.
Come on, Father Bacon wants you out in the nave.
Oh shit. Okay.
One of them steps forward with a pitchfork and kind of jabs it in your direction.
Can I at least take one of the Bibles? I'm not gonna do you any harm. I will go. I will follow you.
Bring it with you.
No, thank you.
You can ask Father Bacon.
Okay, thank you. I am a man of God. It's okay.
Okay, they
Do
lead
any
you out.
of these people look hurt or no?
Look hurt?
Yeah.
No. So
I'm
they march you back out into the nave.
I keep apologizing to Father Bacon and saying this is a misunderstanding. There's no need for this. We're all men of God here.
He says, I don't see any reason why I should believe you since you've already betrayed my trust once.
What could you possibly have back there that's that important that we couldn't replace or talk to the man? It's not that big of a deal. I don't understand.
Here, we found him in the back with all the Bibles. He opened one of the crates. He's got one of them.
So he's a man seeking God.
Yes, that's what I told them.
The priest looks confused. He says, why would you steal a Bible? All you would have to have done is ask for one, and I would have given you one.
How old is Medina? Isn't he a young guy?
I'm 25.
He's a young man. He knows no better. Forgive him, for he knows not what he does.
I am sorry. I have a little problem with my brain. My boundaries on things are a little bit hazy.
Yes, please. We are trying to show him the right way, but you know how it is. It takes time to sculpt a man into a good man.
Yes, I had a very tough childhood, and it left an impact on my mental capabilities.
Do they go by father or reverend in this church?
Both. He's been called both
Okay,
since you've been here.
Reverend. I would ask a question if you wouldn't mind. What were you going to do with all the Bibles? Were you going to pass them out to people to let them be aware of the Word of God?
Who are you to question me?
I'm asking you a simple question.
I,
You have an
This is a
overload of
this is a church. Why would we not have Bibles?
I,
exactly.
I
And
would like
so
to.
this man was interested, and any man that's interested in the Bible should be given a
That is
Bible.
not the
Really,
problem here. The problem is here is I asked you to stay with the group once already, sir. He says, giving
As
an angry look at Medina.
what I
And yet
don't remember
again,
you.
you wandered off
I
into
don't.
the private areas of the church, and not to mention, you opened one of our crates.
I don't remember you saying such a thing. As I said, I have problems understanding certain scenarios.
Yes, we
Well, there
explained.
is a very dangerous pit back there which you could have fallen into.
Yes, I know. I nearly did. I dropped my candle down there.
No, it's lucky for you that you didn't.
Why is there a pit in the back?
Yes, it's very very lucky that I didn't.
It's been there since the church was built.
Really?
Nobody I know, nobody connected to the church has ever been down there. Not in my lifetime.
Does your
Well,
church have crypts?
well,
I do not know. As I said, I've not been down there.
well. Maybe we could, as a token of uh, forgiveness, uh, uh, I could check down there for you. I could check it out for you and return any artifacts from that are for this church down there to you.
You'd
There
be
must
willing
be
to
some
go down there
secret.
to see what's down there?
Yes, I'd be willing to go down there if that means that
Why?
you won't harm me.
We're not going to harm you for stealing the Bible, although I do have
Well,
half a mind to throw you out of my church and order you never to return.
yes, but imagine the secrets down there. The secrets of the church. There must be thousands of years worth of secrets down there. If you've never been down there,
I can
there must
tell by
be.
your garb that you are treasure hunters, adventure seekers, yes?
I am a man of God.
I am a man of God traveling
He
on.
he makes a sign of the cross and says, "You, sir, are a liar and a sneak.
No, I am a man of God.
Then perhaps you need to go to confession and repent."
Please,
Yes.
is there some way we can do something to make this right? We don't want to be on bad terms with you. He's a man of God. He's learning. He's trying.
And as I
Well,
said,
I
I'd
have always
happily.
been curious as to what lies beneath the building here.
Yes. And as I said, I'd happily go down there.
If you're willing to go down there and see what it is,
Yes.
I only ask that you return any religious relics found, as I suspect probably most of the items down there, if anything is down there, would be ancient religious relics. I would ask you to turn them over to the church.
Of course, we would.
Anything you find outside of religious significance, you may keep.
Yes. Anything that, by doing this, can we reach a level of forgiveness?
Yes, penance.
As long as your behavior from this point forward does not further betray my trust.
Uh, yes. Yes, I am very sorry. As I have said multiple times, I am a little bit in the head.
If thievery is what brings this man closer to God, then it's God's will. He stole a Bible.
You
and
know what?
I didn't even steal it. I took it in front of them.
I
They
want to
let me pick
try
it up.
something real quick.
What do you want to try?
I'm gonna walk up to him, like walking and like praying, and I will be here. Come, my child, I will heal you, and I'm gonna cast cure light wounds, but I'm gonna put both my hands like around his head, and I want to see what happens around the room when the people see it.
Oh no.
Okay. Are you doing this to me, Bunny? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
so you're
cool.
gonna do right.
Because you can say that there's something wrong
Yeah,
with your
yeah,
head.
yeah, yeah,
So.
Because I'll, even though it won't actually probably it won't do anything, I will react to it. So.
They're impressed. So you, sir, are a man of God.
Wait. Oh
Praise
my God.
miracle.
And then once it happens and the light flashes, he would kind of like start praying like, "You shall be saved, my son."
Wait.
They don't seem to be as surprised as you might expect.
Oh my God.
You get the feeling that they've seen this kind of thing before.
I can think again.
Can I detect evil?
Is that a spell?
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
it prepared.
you can cast Detect Evil.
Okay, I'm doing that.
I am free from my mental illness.
Yeah, there's only one person in the room that gives off a glow from your Detect Evil spell, and that's Antonio.
Oh shit.
I just turn and look right at him like, what? And then I'm like, okay.
I look at him and I raise an eyebrow and I smile.
Yeah, you've had that done to you before.
I'm familiar with that spell. I've
Mhm.
seen it before.
Scholar indeed.
Well,
that's a conversation for another.
do you need any
Grenade.
more supplies before you go down there? I imagine it's pitch
Oh.
black.
Now wait a
You need
minute.
plenty of light.
I have candles. I have rope. I have everything I need.
I'm gonna
And-
address the Reverend and tell him, look, as you've seen, he doesn't make that great of decisions. I will be happy to go down and with him to maintain some of his outbursts if that happens.
Oh, you will all go with him,
But
and you
Cole,
will
my
all be
friend.
held responsible for his actions should
What?
he.
But everyone, my friends, our good friend here cured my mental illness. I am fine now.
Roll a
I'm
charisma roll.
mentally fine.
Give me a roll.
It
Give me
happened in
D20
your
roll there, Medina.
17.
He kind of furrows his brow and squints at you and says, "You stink of a liar, sir." As I said,
Father,
you will all be held responsible for the actions of each other. You go down there as a group, you come back as a group.
Father Bacon, would you happen to have spare lanterns?
We have lanterns available, yes.
Very well. That
How
is all
many
I will
How many do you require?
There's 5 of us, right? I would say we'd want 3.
I have a lantern.
Oh, you do?
Do you want 3 more lanterns?
Then only 2.
2 more lanterns, okay.
I have loads of candles.
Do you require any oil? Yeah, candle oil lights up 10-foot area. A 10
if we
foot
could
radius.
have a couple spare flasks, that would be.
Well, before we do anything, I want to get a look at this pit.
Sure.
Yes, it's about 20 feet.
But then I see this gong in the corner. What the hell's that for?
We use it for certain services.
In the room with the pit.
It's movable.
Yes, but what services do you use a gong for?
Yes. I'm not familiar with any of those ceremonies.
Any smells coming up from the pit or in that room when we enter it?
No. No, you don't smell anything.
I do tell you, but about the pit is about 20 feet.
So why has no one ever explored it before?
I don't know that no one's ever explored it before. No one's explored it in my lifetime.
I don't know about you, but I don't often like to hurl myself into some dark pit in the
Yeah, me neither.
Well,
unknown origin.
The Reverend
Not
who
that I
was here,
haven't in the past.
the Reverend who was here before me, also did not know of anyone who had gone down there. So presumably the one that came before him told him the same.
Are there any church records about this pit?
None that I have, no. Nothing that I'm aware of.
A mysterious pit. Challenge accepted. And I say that out loud.
Before you go down, perhaps you would like to partake in a blessing ceremony to make sure you go down there with the protection of the Lord.
Yes.
It would be nice.
Bless?
I have been.
Yes, why not?
I have been recently blessed. I would not disparage. What's the guys at? What's a good name here? I would not disparage Pastor Lewis's blessing for another. I don't want this guy casting spells on me.
Who's Lewis?
He's nobody.
No.
Well,
You've
I
got
have.
quite a mess, Medina.
Well,
Yeah,
you have your lanterns, you have your oil.
Actually, I guess we wanted to go down here, but I don't like this pit.
I lower my rope. I'm already lowering my rope.
Okay, then. I guess it's decided.
I will go down first. And is there something I can tie the rope to, I guess? I'm not going to just. I'm not just going to start going down and just.
Yeah, I'm sure
down
you
with
can secure. Does anybody have a grapple hook?
Oh, good question.
I might have one. Do I have?
I don't think so, unless I pulled it down after I saved this guy.
No, I don't.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, the villagers will get something that you can tie it to.
Okay. And then I will climb down. I will climb this pit.
Okay, you climb down. What are you using for light?
For now, it'll just be my single candle until the rest come down.
Right, with our lanterns.
Yeah.
So we can shine him down there while he's climbing down.
Oh, yeah. I have a lot of candles. I know we only do a little bit, but while I'm waiting for the others to come down, it's.
So the room which you land in, and I will not be showing you any maps for this dungeon. You'll be responsible for drawing your own map. Is 30-foot square, so 30-foot east, west, south, and north. There, in the middle of each wall, there is a 10-foot wide tunnel leading off, one to the north, one to the west, one to the east, one to the south. There is a very thick layer of slime on the floor.
Yeah.
That green slime that you saw that put out, you find your extinguished candle too. It was put out by the slime when it fell into it.
Interesting.
Smells? Smell?
No,
Okay.
nothing.
Okay.
Man, you're really obsessed with the smell.
Right?
Nothing. Who goes down
We're not
next?
seeing anything. We're not hearing anything. So use the other senses.
Who's going down next?
I'll go down now.
I'm gonna need help climbing down, probably.
I can probably, like, when I get down there, I can wait for him to come down and help him get down. If somebody wants to help him up there.
I mean, you can use your arms anyway, right?
Right. And I have one leg, so
Yeah.
I can get down. It's just controlled slide. I have gloves on.
So who's in this room with us? Just the priest and those 5 guys?
No, 15 guys. Everybody came in.
They all came in.
Yeah, they're all interested. Somebody's going down to explore the pit. Like, whoa, I want to know what's going on.
They look excited and stuff.
So maybe a little bit of excitement, maybe a little bit of trepidation, whatever, like concern, like people get superstitious and weird and everything else too. So
Nobody's rubbing their hands together and cackling madly.
no, no.
Before
I didn't detect no evil or chaos, so
Mm-mm.
it's
Well, other than
all good
certain
intentions.
Before I go down there, I asked the Reverend if I could have another, as long foot of rope as they got, where I could tie it up and we could use it to find our way back if it gets dark in there and we run out of, lantern, oil, whatever.
Oh, we'll have to send someone to get some.
Maybe some of your boys would like to come along.
Do you need their assistance?
Sure, we don't even know what's down here. If there's tons of treasure, we'll need help carrying it out.
You probably have to pay them. It'll only be fair, in case there's nothing down there.
I think we can handle it.
Are you guys coming down here?
Yeah. All right, forget them. I'll climb down.
Okay. Anybody else climbing down?
Yeah, I climbed down.
Okay, so now Medina, Sullivan, and Antonio are down there. Klaus, Cole.
I'm waiting
I had
for
climbed
the-
down a while ago.
Oh, Klaus is down there. Okay.
Oh,
What are you waiting for,
I do
Cole?
have an idea though.
I'm waiting for the rope.
When I
Oh,
get
well, that'll
down
take
there,
a while because somebody has to go and get some in the village and come back with it. So.
I have another thing of 50 foot of rope.
let me see here. When I do get down there, I move off so that I'm hidden from view.
Okay.
Oh, I wanted to. Damn, Sullivan's down there now. Shit.
Mhm.
What is Jack doing right now?
I'm just standing down there waiting for you guys.
Waiting for Cole, the last one, to come down.
Okay. Damn. I kind of like walk towards lean towards Medina and I say, distract Jack for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I move off and like hold the lantern up and like peer down the tunnel a little bit and cast Unseen Servant.
Hey, Sullivan.
Doesn't it
if
take
that-
a whole round to cast a spell?
Yeah, 6 seconds.
Sullivan, thank you for sticking up for me up there.
No problem.
You
You're a
are.
Protestant.
Yes. Yes, I am. You are. You're a very kind man.
Yeah, sorry for sending you to snoop around. I didn't think you were gonna get caught.
Oh
So
no.
those guys are all it's like ringing the pit. Imagine like looking down in there, chatting excitedly among themselves.
It is.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
After I cast Unseen Servant, I order it to go and get the what do they call that thing? The hammer for the gong,
Okay.
and to
Mallet.
carry it out of the church.
Okay. No problem.
In like a way that it won't be seen, because I don't want the Cole to get down here and him to turn around and bong, and suddenly we got
Yeah.
shit chasing after us.
Right.
But I want that gavel gone. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't just whack it with something else, but if it's some
Okay.
kind of special thing, some
Yep.
special
No
towel,
problem. Okay.
you know what I'm saying.
So Cole, you're still waiting for the rope.
Yep.
All right. That is going to take about 20 minutes. So.
Klaus, I wasn't expecting.
Jeez, really?
I wasn't expecting to get
I have
caught.
50 foot of rope. Do we need more?
How far is it down to the bottom from
It's
the
20
top?
feet.
20 feet.
If we get down there, can we lift the jerk the rope and get the grapple to fall down with the rope?
No, but you could ask them to toss it down to you.
Did I trust them? I don't know. I know as soon as we get in there, they're going to get rid of that, and then we're going to be stuck in here, and there's no way to get out.
Okay. Have you climbed down, Cole?
Okay.
If it's going to be 20 minutes, I'll say, yeah, I'm going to go down there, just throw the rope when you get it.
Could you toss down the grapple as well, please?
Of course. Yep. And you climb on down there, Cole. And when you hit the bottom, the rope drops down. Stop it, cat. The rope drops down to you. And you can see it's been cut. If you look up, You see Father Bacon alone, leaning over the edge, say, "I am sorry," and then he steps back away from the edge of the pit.
You bastard!
And then you hear gong.
What?
You bastard!
Oh, so he still just hit it with his hand then. That's what I guessed he was going to do.
Or what are the farming implements that they had? They had
Right.
shovels and rakes.
I was
and
hoping it
everything
might require some kind of special, but unseen servant's really not all that useful down here anyways. So anyways.
And that's where we will stop tonight's session.
Mhm.
Doomed.